Robin Bryant and Ben Bryant. So, Mr. Starter, when you're ready, let's be underway here. The last race of the Cottonmouth Supercross 1982. As the riders watch the lights, down drops the gate, and here we go. The race is on. Look at those kids. Somebody has caught the wheel, and up and over comes Ben Bryant. I believe Ben Bryant is going to be number one as he crosses over the yellow line. Yeah, there you have it. I believe Ben Bryant was probably the winner of that. Looks like number C cyclist was Justin Collins, and I believe he was number 2 there in that event. All right, we have the gate back again with 6 of those riders again up in the starting gate there, and this would be Moto number 2. With Moto number 2, we've got Matthew Gadberry. We have Matthew Watkins, also Jonathan Mallett, Keith Parker, Anthony Carlisle, and Jake Jackson. And boy, there goes the number 1 finisher across the line. As he turns around, I'll see if I can see what his number is on his three-wheeler. Now, he's done left and went out into the track there. It's number H. Let's see. Letter H is Jonathan Mallett from Saxon, Missouri. I believe he was the number 1 qualifier in that Moto number 2. All right, now as we move on down to Moto Heat number 3. Oh, wait a minute. We've still got one on the track. I didn't see him. He was back behind that last whoop-de-doo there. By golly, he made it a finish, though. They must cross that finish line in order to qualify. Remember, riders, when you're out there riding on those bikes, you must cross the finish line over here with that bike, because that's the only way that you'll qualify for a score is to cross the finish line. So that rider stayed on the track, and he crossed, so he is qualified into this heat. So we'll see what happens.
We've never to get on the motor board. Had to add somebody else. So we on race 18 we haven't. The first 5 riders are in race 18, and the next 4 are race 18A. Okay. So okay. I didn't want you to wonder what the hell was going on when you got to it.
Let's see.
Okay, yeah, that's it. You're gonna just do it from backwards.
If you organize that, I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, we've got our 7-year-old and under open class, and they're getting up in the starting gate there now. Just for a moment here, we've got to get the finish line for the big wheels off the track, and we'll get that out of the way. We'll be ready to start Moto race number 3. All of you riders back behind the starting hill, you must realize that the next 10 motos should be back in the staging area. So then riders from race number 4 all the way down to race number 13, you should be back in the staging area back there. This is Moto race number 3, and we've got your 7-year-old and under in the open class. We've got Jared Hull from Saxon. He's carrying the number 1 Mississippi number plate. Here they come down as the gate drops, and looks like number 925 is taking the lead, and that is Sean Taylor out in front. So as they go up over the first 2 whip-de-doos and coming down into the first big berm, somebody is stretching out into a 1-2-3 lead, and on around the track they go, and looks like that's Scotty Taylor. No, I'm wrong. That's the number 1 Mississippi, Jared Hull, and here he comes. He is the expert from Mississippi as Jared turns into the last hairpin turn. We've got a number 2 rider, which is number 122. That's Chad Fair from East Prairie, and over the tabletop, there they go. And I believe it was Jared Hull and Chad Fair, and I believe Sean Taylor must have been in that order. Yes. All right, just a moment, Mr. Starter. We've got a problem here on the Moto number 4. The scorer tells me. Just for a moment here. All right, Moto number 4 is going to have to become 8A. Moto number 4 is going to have to become 8A. So we'll move Moto number 4. I guess that's those riders in the gate right now. All right, let's see. We'll go ahead and run this number 4 race here, but you riders up into the gate right now, you'll be riding next time in Moto number 8A. So we should have Paul Schoenberg, Jonathan Buchanan, Joshua Glick, Dane Lawson, and Ben Bryant. You 5 riders should be in the starting gate now. Looks like 4 of them are up there, and there comes the 5th one. All right, we've got Paul Schuhart, we've got Jonathan Buchanan, we've got Joshua Glick, Dane Lawson, and Ben Bryant. This is the 4th Moto heat, which will be 8A in the next race. So, Mr. Starter, when you're ready. The riders are watching the lights down here. They're on red. They'll drop to orange and green as the gate drops down, and we're ready for a race. Here we go, and the 6-year-old beginners and under, and by golly, it's neck and neck. It looks like number 121 is Dane Lawson from Saxton as they go up over the 2 whip-de-doos into the first berm down there, and I believe Dane Lawson is still out in head as they come back into the second berm on the back. Turn back there, and here we go. We've got a good race with the 6-year-old beginners and under. Here we come out into the hairpin, and I believe there again is Dane Lawson, and he has led the race all the way, following up by number 116, and that is Joshua Glick. As they go up over the tabletop, man, there is a rider that's putting some heat on him, and I didn't get that number plate, but boy, that little looks like the 16-year-old wheel from Saxton. He just about took the race. As they drop down in Moto number 5, we've got Jason Rogers, we've got Troy Pinkerton, we've got Chad Wilson, we've got Jason Standridge, we've got Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, Will Yarborough, and Tracy Buckler. And here we go. The race is coming on down into the hairpin. We've got, this is the 8 and 9-year-old open. As they come, there's that number 3 in Missouri and 92G. So the number 3 plate there in Missouri is Tracy Buckler from Jefferson City, and the 92G looks like that is Stephen Groves from Saxton, Missouri, from Charleston, Missouri. 10, 14. All right, Moto number 6 as the gate drops down, and we have Jay Hucks, we have Ryan Collins, Brent Taylor, and Chris Parker. These are 7-year-old beginners. As they go into the first berm, looks like Jay Hucks is out in the lead there as they come back into the second berm. Still could be anybody's race. Up and over the little whoop-de-doo into the third berm. Rider number 123 is Brent Taylor. He's leading the pack. That's Brent Taylor, rider number 123. Number 801 is Ryan Collins. Down, up, and over the tabletop. There they go. Looks like Brent Taylor and Ryan Collins in that order. All right, moving right along to the 8-year-old beginners in Moto race number 7. We've got Eddie Hamlin, we've got Derek Alsop, Michael Almond, Jason Stanridge, and Kevin Williams. Moto race number 7, your 8-year-old beginners. There they go. Looks like only 3 riders showed up for that. I believe that's rider number 781. That's Derek Alsop as he goes into the first big berm down there. And they stretched out into the 1, 2, 3 order. These riders are 8-year-old beginners. Number 781, and that is Derek Alsop. As he comes into the hairpin, number 2 is Kevin Williams. And here we come down with rider number 110, and that's Michael Almond here from Saxton. So as they come over the finish line, they'll finish in that order. Moto number 8 is your 9-year-old beginners. We've got Scott Schlosser, we've got Brian Doyen, we've got Danny Copeland, we've got Sean Meredith, we've got Danny Copeland is in the lead. Also in the race is Darius Johnson, Michael Miller, and Jeff Walton. And we've got a rider that's down over in the first whip-de-doo, but we've still got riders up cranking as they come out into the third berm. Rider number 300 is Danny Copeland. Danny Copeland comes out of the hairpin, followed by number 100. And that is Darius Johnson. As they go up over the tabletop, rider 300 was the winner of that race. That was Danny Copeland, followed by 100 is Darius Johnson. Moto race number 9 is your 10-year-old beginners. We've got Kemp Nicholas, Jeff Hucks, Matt Steinbauer, Bradley Cox, and Mike Duff. As they're in the starting gate, looks like these riders are watching the gates as Mr. Starter gets ready to tell them the lights are fixing to change and the gate will drop. And we're ready for the 10-year-old beginners. All right, as they watch the lights, here they come. As the gate drops, looks like that's Kemp Nicholas out in front as he comes up over the first little whoop-de-doo. Jeff Hooks is putting pressure on him. Up and over the double whoops is Kemp Nicholas and Jeff Hooks as they turn into the first berm and over the whoop-de-doo into the second berm. And Jeff Hooks is getting some pressure there for that second place spot. All right, into the third berm. Here we come, into the hairpin. That's Kemp Nicholas riding number 1. Jeff Hooks is riding number 2, and rider number 1, 2, 3 is Mike Duff coming up over into the tabletop. Kemp Nicholas, Jeff Hooks, and Mike Duff in that order. Moto race number 10. We've still back into the 10-year-old beginners. We've got Tim Gadberry, Patrick Murphy, Philip Kindred, Mark Grimes, and Gary Rowland. The riders are in the starting gate as they watch the lights. Mr. Starter, when you're ready. The lights are red, they are yellow, and they turn green. As they turn green, the gate drops, and everybody starts cranking. As he gets the rider's attention, he wants to make sure that everybody's ready and that everybody's got their feet on the pedal and all eyes are on the lights. As they go up and over the first 2, one rider misses a pedal and down breaks his seat and into the first big berm as they stretch out into a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 order. Into the second berm they go, and now everybody's still cranking, and it still could be anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen here? All right, here they come into the hairpin. We've got a rider number 126 leading the pack. That's Philip Kindred. Philip Kindred, and number 126, number 130 is Mark Grimes, and I believe they'll finish in that order. It's kind of close to tell from the tire, but the scores back there do a real good job in keeping track of who comes across that 1, 2, and 3. This is 11-year-old beginners in Moto race number 11. Scott Miller is out in front, and he is number 101. As they go into the first big berm, Scott Miller is picking up a pretty good lead on the thing, and he is followed up by Alan Blanton. Now Alan Blanton is back in third place. Rider number 2, as they come out of the hairpin, we're going to give you a name here. Number 326, and that is Robert Smith. All right, here we go. Up over the tabletop as they go into the thing. Smith, Miller, and Blanton in that order. All right, we're back up into the starting gate again. Looks like we've got Moto race number 12. This is the 12-year-old beginners. We've got Joey Causey, we've got Clifford Fowler, we've got Sean Garrett, Jason Bryant, Daniel Whiteside, and Brian Dixon. Looks like Clifford Fowler has got the lead as they come into the first berm, and it stretches out 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I believe a rider went down and one missed a pedal. But we've still got a lot of riders a-cranking, and by golly, here they come into the third berm. As they come into the hairpin, it still could be anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen? Number 777, that's Clifford Fowler. He's in the lead, and he's just been passed up by Daniel Whiteside as Whiteside takes the finish line. All right, back to your 13-year-old beginners in Moto race number 13. We've got Keith Panchot, we've got Wade Mettler, we've got Carl Voss, and Neil Miles, and Shannon Meredith. All right, 13-year-old beginners, here they come. Anybody's race. Looks like it's possibly the 562 is Carl Voss from Advance, Missouri. There's an Advance rider. He's picking up a pretty good lead as all riders are still up and all cranks are still turning. As they come on down into the third berm, it's rider number 562. That's Carl Voss from into the hairpin from Advance. Followed by Sean Meredith. There went a rider down, but he'll be back up quick and he will score. All right, there we go. The race was finished for 13-year-old beginners was Carl Voss, Meredith, and I believe Miles might have been number 3. All right, we've got the 10 and 11-year-old open class. This is Moto race number 15. If you're in motos from 15 all the way down to 25, you should be behind the starting hill in the staging area. As the riders go up and over the hill there, I believe rider number 107 might have been the leader. As they go into the first berm, all riders are still up and cranking. This is Moto race number 15, and this is the 10 and 11-year-old open class. All right, number 105. We're on the wrong moto on our sheet here, but that's a 13-year-old beginner in moto number 14. Looks like Bobby Hutton was the winner. Also in that race was David Hutton, Jim Stallings, and Lonnie Buckner. Now we're back down to Moto race number 15. Some of these are on the same sheet and we turn a page too fast. This is what we did that time. But we're back with the 10, 11-year-old opens now in Moto race number 15. We've got Stephen Morris, Kemp Nicholas, Mark Carmen, Scotty Taylor, Sean Arche, Jeff Ramsey, Mike Duff, and Jeff Welter. And boy, I mean, it's anybody's race, and looks like Jeff Welter is going up over the first two berms, and I believe Jeff Ramsey is pushing him for that #1 spot. As they turn down into the second big berm, and into the third, Scotty Taylor picks up a little bit of a lead, and there's Jeff Hooks Jeff Ramsey followed in #2 spot. All right, we've still got Welter and we've still got Ramsey. The third rider is number 107, that's Stephen Morris. As they go across the finish line, it's Welter, it's Ramsey, and it's Morris. Looks like Jeff Ramsey's got a set of new wheels on his bike, and he done a real good job with them there today. Thank you, Dad. Moto race number 16 in your 14-year-old beginners. We've got Donnie Cope, Rodney Poston, Herb Moore, Ron Meredith, Brian Shelton, Wilson Ross, and Mike Aisley. As they come down over the first hoop-de-doo, looks like Herb Moore takes the lead up and over the two hoop-de-doos down into the first big berm as they stretch out into a 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. It still could be anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen? All these riders are cranking, and looks like somebody has done moved up into that third place position as they change again. Coming down into the first big hairpin, there is Moore and Meredith, followed by rider number 304 is Ross. All right, across the finish line, Moore, Meredith, and Ross. There you have it. In the 15-year-old beginners Moto race number 17, we've got Larry Cope, we've got Charles Thurman, and we've got Joe Bullinger. Cope is from Sykeston, Thurman is from East Prairie. He's sponsored by Reeves Boomland. Joe Bullinger is from Sykeston. As they're in the starting gate, looks like two riders is only going to be up this time. There they come, number 100. That's Larry Cope from Sykeston. And I believe he is dropped back there by Joe Bullinger, might have taken the lead. As they go into the first big berm, it's still anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen? Into the second big berm. On around the track, here they come into the third berm. And we're still with the one. Whoop, the rider went down. There we come. 1, 2, 3. That's Charles Thurman from East Prairie, Reeves Boomland. All right, number 100. That's Larry Cope. As he gets back up, he's from Saxon. He'll go across to take the number 2 spot. In the 13-year-old open, race number 18. Race number 18. There they come. Here's Scooter Gilmore, Greg Garner, Carl Voss, Neil Miles, and Travis Jackson. Up and over to the first thing, it looks like Scooter Gilmore, Travis Jackson, and on down over the first and second berm, all around into the third berm. Here we go. Scooter Gilmore comes into the hairpin. Travis Jackson follows. As they come out, Scooter Gilmore, Travis Jackson, and number 206 is Greg Garner. Up and over the tabletop, and it's Scooter Gilmore, Travis Jackson, and Garner. 1, 2, and 3. Back up to the hill. Now we're in the 18A, still in the 13-year-old open. We've got Brian Bedell, we've got Eric Stone, we've got David Sutton, and Lance Farrell. The race is on. Looks like number 25B might be in the front, and that's Brian Bedell. Up and over the first two whoop-de-doos into the big berm, and here we go. It's still anybody's race, and all riders is up and cranking, and my, we've got quite a heat going here. Into the third turn, here we come, down into the hairpin. And that's rider number 231, and that, whoa, I can't tell which one that is. That was supposed to be 18A, 13-year-old open. All right, we'll move on over to the 14-year-olds and over in the open class, Moto race number 17. We've got Mark Bendell, Matt King, Joe Bullock, Kenny Thiele, and Jerry Freshire. There we have it. All 5 riders are in the gate as they drop down, and here we go. Moto number 19, up and over into the first turn, and there they go. Into the second berm, and who knows who's going to be the winner in this race. It's still anybody's race. Number 87B is Joe Bullock, followed by Freshire, Bullock and Freshire, and Thiele. Bullock, Freshire, and Thiele in that order. I believe that's the way it'll be. Now we're back to Moto race number 20. Moto number 20, still in the 14-year-old and open class. We've got Charlie Wren from Cape Girardeau. We've got Tim Karras from St. Louis. We've got Jerry Franklin from St. Louis. We've got a Memphis, Tennessee rider is Scott Chris. And we've got Jay Sire. Looks like Tim Karras from St. Louis, Missouri. And he's riding with the number 1 Missouri number plate on that bike. That's the number 1 rider in the state of Missouri. Right there with your 14-year-old and open. He is followed by number 5 in Missouri there with the Jerry Franklin, and I believe it'll be in that order. The number 1 plate and the number 5, both St. Louis riders, Karras and Franklin. Back to the 6-year-old novice in Moto race number 21, we've got Robin Chambers and we've got Brent Peters. Brent Peters is from Bertrand, Robin Chambers is from right here in Sikeston. And Jared Hull is the 6-year-old expert, he's from here in Sikeston. There's the 6-year-old expert leading the pack, just Jared Hull. Up and over the 2 little whoop-de-doos on down into the first berm is still Jared Hull. Down goes a rider, but he'll be back up quick, because I know he wants to score as they come into the 3rd berm. Here we go. It's still anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen into the hairpin, and Jared Hull, that's your 6-year-old expert here in Sikeston, followed by 000. I don't know. He's not listed on our sheet here. So Jared Hull took the number 1 spot there. There's that 000. He was in the wrong moto. That's Paul Rent from Dexter, Missouri. He should be in this moto right here. All right, this is Moto race number 22. Moto race number 22. As the gate drops down, looks like rider number 925 is Sean Taylor from Sikeston, Missouri. He's taking the lead as they go down into the first berm, and I believe we've got a new leader. All right, it's still anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen as they come over the last whoop-de-doo into the big berm, on out into the hairpin, and here we go. We've got a race, number 122, and that's Chad Fair from East Prairie, followed by Sean Taylor, I believe. All right, there you have it, Moto race number 22. This is Moto race number 23. Moto race number 23. We've got 8-year-old novice Troy Pinkerton, Chad Wilson, John Hackworth, Scott Collins, and Will Yarborough. As the gate drops down, looks like 87P takes out number 2 spot. Will Yarborough is in number 1. As they go up into the first 2 whoop-de-doos and around in the first berm, it's Will Yarborough number 1 and Troy Pinkerton number 2. All right, coming back into the 2nd berm, and it's still Will Yarborough and Troy Pinkerton. All right, here we go. Coming on out into the hairpin, still Will Yarborough, followed by Pinkerton, and we've got a new 3rd place, number 817, and that's Scott Collins. Here we go, and they're racing down to the wire, up and over the tabletop, and it's Yarborough, and it's Pinkerton, and it's Collins, in that order. Back to the 9... My little boy named it Buckler. 9-year-old novice, Moto race number 24. We've got Jimmy Smith, Jason Rogers, Chris Ryan, Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, and Barry Pennell, and Tracy Buckler. All right, we've got a race, and as they lined out there, we've got a rider down, but he'll be back up, I know, because he'll want to score as they come into the hairpin. We've got the 3rd number plate in Missouri, and that is Tracy Buckler from Jefferson City, 9-year-old expert rider, and he took that moto. This is our 8 and 9-year-old powder puff race. These young ladies up there in the gate now is Delta Don Fowler, Becky DeCreek, Carrie Bryant, and Nicholas Williams. All of these young ladies are from Sikeston, and we've got a young lady from Morehouse. She's riding in the 7 and under powder puff for Jennifer Almond. Moto race number 25. Here we go. Number 740 is Delta Don Fowler from Sikeston, Missouri. as they turn into the first berm, and who knows what's going to happen. All riders are still cranking, and it still could be anybody's race. On down into the second berm, and we've got a rider that's doing a real good job. That is number 404, and that's Becky DeCreek as she comes into the hairpin. And there she comes out, Becky DeCreek. Number 740 is Delta Don Fowler, and number 133 is Williams. So here we go. DeCreek, Fowler, and Williams, and Bryant. I believe they'll finish in the 8 and 9-year-old powder puffs in that order. Back to Moto race number 26. We've got our 10-year-old novice riders is Ricky Pilon, we've got Scott Taylor, and we've got Jeff Ramsey. These three riders are up there in the starting gate in Moto number 26 and our 10-year-old novice as the gate drops down, and it's a three-way tie for number 1 spot, and who knows what's going to happen. All right, here we go, down into the first big berm, and I know Ramsey is in second place, but I hadn't got the number on that tag to tell you who's in first. As they come out over into the third berm, I'll give you a number here in just a moment. Into the hairpin as they come out, number 915 is Scott Taylor, followed by Ramsey and Ricky Pilon, and there they go. Ramsey's putting some heat on him, but I don't believe he got him, so it should be Pilon, Ramsey, and Taylor in that order. Eleven-year-old novice in Moto race number 27. Stephen Morris, Mike Pine, Mark Carmen, Sean Archie, Daniel Vaughn, Jeff Welter, G.J. Stewart, and Buddy Montgomery. And it's anybody's race. Out of the first berm they come, and into the second berm. And boy, they're all strung out, and who knows what's going to happen. All riders are still cranking, and it's still anybody's race. Into the hairpin, number 218. Number 218, that rider is J.J. Stewart. J.J. Stewart up and over the tabletop, and boy, I mean, somebody's putting a lot of pressure on him, but I believe J.J. might have won that one. That was your 11-year-old novice. This is Moto race number 28 in your 10 and 11-year-old powder puff. We've got Meredith Lewis, Amy Lindsay, Priscilla Rogers, Erica McDonald, Farrah McDonald, and Vicky Barker. As the gate drops down, and who knows what's going to happen again, up and over the little whoop-de-doo, and there they go, and I can see Farrah McDonald's long black hair streaming in the wind as she turns them cranks to that number 1 position. Up and over the next little whoop-de-doo into the second berm, and it's still Farrah McDonald, and she's still cranking away as that long, pretty hair blows in the wind. Here we go, into the hairpin turn, and it's Farrah McDonald. Farrah McDonough, followed by number 412, and that's Vicky Barker from Saxton. Up and over the tabletop, and I believe it's going to be McDonough, and I believe it's going to be Barker. And Lewis. 13-year-old novice, Moto race number 29. We've got Brian Bedell, Scooter Gilmore, Greg Garner, Lewis Jones, and Eric Jones. Eric Stone. Here we come, down the hill, up and over the berm. Up and over the whoop-de-doos. Into the first berm is Scooter Gilmore, and Scooter is a-cranking them out, and by golly, here we've got a hot race a-going. Scooter's still in the lead as he comes on down into the hairpin. He picks the front wheel up off of the track there, and that's still Scooter Gilmore. All right, we got Moto race number 30, 13-year-old novice. We've got Scott Belanti, Fred Sinroll, Jimmy Brewer, and Travis Jackson riding a 13-year-old expert. There we go. I can see Jackson is in second, and looks like Brewer is in number 3rd place. As we turn around, the number 5 plate shows up. That is Scott Belanti from Memphis, Tennessee, followed by Travis Jackson and Jimmy Brewer. Here we go, and boy, I mean, Travis Jackson's put some heat on him up and over the tabletop, and he caught him, and it's Jackson Belanti from Memphis, Tennessee, and Jimmy Brewer, number 3. Moto race number 31, we've got our 14-year-old novice, Mark Bendell, Jay Sire, Alan Meeks, Steve Bennett, and Kevin Miller from St. Louis, Missouri. And there they go, there the Swin jersey leads the race as they turn into the first berm. On around, all riders are still cranking, and we've still got a hot contested race going. Looks like 37B is Mark Bendell from Cape Girardeau as they come out of the hairpin, number 111. That is Bennett from Saxton. Bendell, Bennett, and I believe Alan Meeks. That was your 14-year-old novice. All right, back to the moto race number 32 with 14-year-old novice riders. We've got Mark, Luke Nell, Billy Maxton, Sean Buchanan, David Reinhardt, and Scott Crisp from Memphis, Tennessee. We've got Billy Maxton. He's number 109 from DuQuoin, Illinois. Mark Luckel from Cape Girardeau. As we turn into the hairpin, and let's see who that number 3 plate is the Memphis rider there. Scott Crisp from Memphis, Tennessee is going to take number 1, and Buchanan will take second. Moto race number 33. This is our 15-year-old novice. We've got Matt King, Carl Ottingling, Matt Lucknell, John Whitten Jr., Robert Mullins, Charlie Wren, and Rich Lewis, and the race is on. Rich Lewis is taking the lead there, followed by Whitten. Into the first berm, and it's still Whitten and Lewis, neck and neck, and both riders are cranking, and it still could be anybody's race. Lewis is the leader. Lewis is number 1 in the 15-year-old novice. Into the hairpin, and here you have it. Lewis, Whitten, Lewis slips a pedal. Whitten takes the lead. Whitten is number 1 up and over the tabletop, and it's Whitten, and it's Lewis. One rider went down as they slipped the pedal there. Lewis slipped the pedal, and Whitten overtaken for the number 1 spot. All right, we've got back to racing up in the gate. We've got our 12-year-old novice riders in moto race number 34. We've got Steve Hammer, Lance Farrell, John Marble, Adam Rogers, Raymond Brown in the gates down. The race is on. As they come up over the first whoop-de-doos, and the number 1 rider is 94F, is Lance Farrell from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, wearing a Swin jersey. Into the second berm they go, and it's still one rider turns down, but he'll be back up on the road again. Back into the hairpin, and that's 94F from Cape Girardeau, Lance Farrell. Followed by 231 is Adam Rogers. So it's going to be Farrell and Rogers, and I didn't get that other number plate there. That was moto number 34. Back to moto number 35, the 12-year-old novice. We've got in this race Mark Dromback from Cape Girardeau, J.W. Hackworth from Saxton, Ron Ryan from Saxton, Chuck Largent from Saxton, and Travis Smith, Saxton riders. So down comes the gate as these riders drop down into the first whoop-de-doo, and I believe that's probably number 105 is Ron Ryan as he takes the lead into the first berm. Ron Ryan is still cranking them out there as he's picking up a lead into the second berm, on around into the third, and there we have a pretty hot contended race for second and third place. Out of the hairpin, and it's still Ryan. Number 111 is Chuck Largent. So it's Ryan. Up and over the tabletop is Largent. Largent is being hotly contested there by that Dromback from Cape Girardeau. All right, now we've got our 16-year-old novice riders. Race number 36, Jim Porter, John Chad, and Ward Carroll is the 16 expert from St. Louis, Missouri. Jimmy Porter and John Chad are both Saxton riders. Ward Carroll is a 16 expert from St. Louis, and down the hill they come. And that's Carroll out into the lead. And Carroll is still cranking it out there, picking up a pretty good lead. He is a 16-year-old expert. The other rider is a 16-year-old novice, and that's Jimmy Porter. And there goes Carroll on down over into the tabletop. Carroll will be the number 1 16-year-old expert, as Jimmy Porter will be the number 1 16-year-old novice. Moto race number 37 is the 17-year-old expert riders. We've got Todd Morris, Margot Carroll, and John David. Todd Morris is from Richmond Heights, Margot Carroll is from St. Louis, and John David is from Saxon, Missouri. As they turn on down, only 2 riders showed up for this moto heat. That's Margot Carroll. She's carrying that number 7 state plate there on the powder puff, but she's still riding in the 17-year-old expert. There comes number 5 out. Missouri plate there. from Richmond Heights is Todd Morris. Margot Carroll will take second. She's the national number 7. Moto race number 38, 17-year-old novice. We've got Joe Bullock, Kenny Thiele, and Jim Moore. Only 2 riders show up for this one. One rider slips a pedal as we pick up a lead there with that number 1 rider into the first berm. As they come around into the second berm, who knows what's going to happen? There we go, into the third berm, and it's number 87B, and that's Joe Bullock from Cape Girardeau into the hairpin, and it still could be a race. Number 913 is Kenny Thiele. All right, Bullock and Thiele, he washed out into the tar there, but he's going to jump back up, and he'll still score. There he goes, Bullock, and number 2 up and over the tabletop will be Thiele. All right, we've got our 12 and 13-year-old Powder Puff riders, and back again in moto race number 39 is Shelly Meeks, Julie Wilson, Amy DeWitt, and all these are Sykeston riders. Amy Stanridge, Missy Hornback, and Sherry Hamlin. All of these are Sykeston riders. Down the hill they come. It looks like Shelly Meeks is in number 1. Number 103 is Julie Wilson, and Julie Wilson is in the first place. Shelly Meeks drops back into third as Julie Wilson takes number 1. I can't tell you right at the moment who that number 2 rider is, but she's still cranking and doing a real good job. Into the third berm, and there they go. Into the hairpin. Here you have it, number 103, and that's Julie Wilson. Sherry Hamlin is in second, number 302, and Shelly Meeks is in number 3. Wilson, Hamlin, and Meeks. All right, our 14 and over in the Powder Puff. 14 years old and over in the Powder Puff. Moto race number 40. We've got Susan Chitler, Margot Carroll, and Deborah Duff. All right, there goes Margot Carroll, the national number 7. Into the first berm, and still the Margot Carroll picking up a pretty sizable lead as she turns into the second berm. That's our Memphis rider coming in the second place spot. The other rider is Deborah Duff right from here in Sykeston. So there you go. There's Margot Carroll. There's the Memphis, Tennessee rider in number 2 spot. Margot Carroll from St. Louis, and it's Susan Chitler from Memphis, Tennessee, and Deborah Duff from right here in Sykeston. That's your 14 years old and over Powder Puff. 14-year and 15-year-old cruiser class. Moto race number 41 is Carl Ottingling and John Whitten Jr. and Jerry Freshire will ride in the cruiser class. 14, 15-year-olds, and here we go. Freshire has picked up the number 1 lead in the 16 to 24-year-old cruiser, turning into the first berm, and it's still Freshire. Number 2 spot is the other Tuscola, Illinois rider, Carl Ottingling. So here we go, out of the hairpin, and we've got Freshire, and we've got Ottingling, and we've got Whitten into the cruiser class. Down and up and over the tabletop, and they will finish Freshire, Ottingling, and Whitten. All right, now we've got our big wheels getting back up into the thing, but just for a moment, we're going to draw some of these prizes out of here. So let's draw a few names out of the box and see who wins some of these prizes. All right, we're reaching into the box, Mr. Starter. If you'll hold the big wheels just for a moment, we've got Reeves Boomland with a $5 gift certificate that we're going to give away, and there went one right there. That one right there, it just blowed out. Miss Score, Joe picked that one up. That'll be the $5 gift certificate from Reeves Boomland. Joe, if you tell me that's yours, I'll tell you that we're going to have to draw another one. Buddy Montgomery. Buddy Montgomery. Buddy Montgomery, age 11-year-old novice. You get the $5 gift certificate from Reeves Boomland. 4 free dinners from Taco Hut is won by Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams is 8-year-old and he is a beginner. Kevin Williams, if you'll come up and get your 4 free dinners from Taco Hut. No, I'm sorry, Kevin, that's 2 free dinners. We're drawing for the other 2 free dinners from Taco Hut. That is Bradley Cox, age 10-year-old beginner. Bradley Cox, age 10-year-old beginner. Fresh Hour Cycle Shop here in Sykeston is giving away 1 Cycle Pro shotgun seat. Let's have a winner, boys. That winner is age 11-year-old. He is in beginning class, and that is Alan Blanton. right, let's hear it. Riders, may I have your attention just for a moment? Riders, I must have your attention just for a moment. All riders who have number plates that are black lettered numbers on a mesh plate must change them. You must change them. You can go over to the scorers table. They do have paper plates they'll put over for you now, but you must change them because the scorers cannot read them. If you have a black lettered number plate on a mesh plate, you must go over to the scorers table and change that number. Okay, riders, come up to the announcer's tire and get your winnings here. Buddy Montgomery wins the $5 gift certificate from Reeves Boomland. It should be in this right here.
Those go somebody too, don't they?
Yeah. 2 free dinners from Taco Hut.
Okay. Where's that? Their names. Who's won?
Kevin Williams.
He did.
What did he win?
Where's Buddy Montgomery?
Yeah, Taco Hut. That goes to Williams. Hand that to Williams.
Who's Williams?
That's the little boy right there with the black helmet on. Number 133.
Who won Taco Hut?
Williams, and the other Taco Hut goes to...
133's not Williams.
Yeah, the rider number 133 is Williams right here.
Why did he say it?
Here's Kevin Williams' name.
What is that?
What's your name?
Brad Cox won the other 2 free dinners
Taco Hut.
from Taco Hut. Alan Blanton won the
Shotgun seat. Then we already gave this away.
Huh?
I'll give Alan a shotgun seat.
All right, see to it that he gets it.
He carried back in.
All right, there we have those prizes given away to those riders there that are participants out here today. They've come up and received their prizes from Reeves Boomland, a $5 gift certificate. Taco Hut had 4 free dinners. Fresh Hours Bike Shop had 1 Cycle Pro shotgun seat. While we've got a break in the action here, let's draw another couple names out there while we're with a break in the action. We've got our scorers moving down to the line down there, and
special education class in Dutch brought up here to go to the Hippodrome. They'll park out there.
okay. When they come in, you want me to announce it? All right. Okay, draw me another number out there, and let's see what we've got here from... this is another prize from PJ's Supply Company here, the home of quality appliance for 45 years. They have Hot Point, Whirlpool appliances, Quasar televisions, and Team Murray bicycles. Murray is the one with the extra light chrome Molly BMX racing bike. We service what we sell. That's from PJ's Supply. So draw me one out there, and it's a 6-year-old beginner, and that's Paul Schuhart. Paul Schuhart, if you'll come to the announcer's tire, we'll give you the 1 Viscount Aero bike seat. Draw me another rider out there from Jerry Hackworth of Saxon Cut Rate Liquors for 1 case of Pepsi-Cola, and it's sitting right down under the announcer's tire. Age 6-year-old novice Robin Chambers. Robin Chambers, if you'll come to the announcer's tire, you better bring someone with you to carry a case of Pepsi-Cola that you just won. Compliments of Jerry Hackworth of Saxon Cut Rate on South Main. Also, the other 6-year-old rider, Paul Schuhart, come and pick up yours. While we've got just a moment here, break in the action, let me announce again that we are being videotaped here by Video Images. This is being brought to you today by compliments of PJ's. I just told you about PJ's. Also, Fresh Hour Cycle Shop here is your BMX headquarters for custom-built competition race bikes. They have the hot setup, the parts, and the service, and they're at 315 South Main in Sikeston. Also, we've got Sikeston Food Lockers on East Malone here, owned and operated by Ernest and Bob Wilson. They have custom butchering, rentals of frozen food lockers, and they sell wholesale foods and beef by the side or by the quarter. So see the Wilsons for your food services there at Saxton Food Locker on East Malone in Saxton. Also, your Saxton Cut Rate on South Main is owned and operated by Jerry Hackworth for all your party favorites and spirits and tobacco needs on South Main. Once again, Danny Meeks Printing here in Saxton and also sponsoring the video images today for all your personalized and all your business printing needs that you might have. See Meeks Printing on South Stoddard Street here in Saxton. So these fine sponsors are making it possible to be brought this to you today from video images. You'll be able to watch this on our local cable channel 6 Monday afternoon at 6 p.m. So if you'll tune in on Monday, well, you'll be able to see the race in its entirety there, brought to you by these sponsors. As for next year, we hope to be able to have video images back again with us out here, and we again are going to ask that anyone that's here today or anyone watching that might want to be a sponsor of the video image facility to bring this out to the public, well, you may become a sponsor just by seeing us sometime during the end of the season this year or before the season starts next year. If you decide that you want to be a sponsor, we still have room for our sponsors. Okay, I believe they say they're ready to race again, so it's back up to the starting hill here now, and we've got those big wheel riders back in the starting gate. We've got Brooke McTeague, we've got Matt Hucks, we've got Justin Collins, we've got Doyle Noel, Robin Bryant, and Ben Bryant. So back up into the starting gate when they're ready to go. Mr. Starter, when you're ready. As they drop down out of the gate, and there's a rider that's really a-cranking, and he looks over to see what's happening, and that's rider number C, and that's Justin Collins. There you have it. I believe maybe a Powder Puff might have been number 3 in that. I believe Justin Collins might have taken second, and I'll tell you who that first place rider is if you'll turn that big wheel around here so I can see the number on the front of it. I believe that was Ben Bryant. Robin Bryant. No, that was Ben. That was Ben, and Robin must have been in number 4 spot there. All right, there you have it. Moto number 2 now. They're back up into the gate. This is Moto race number 2, so all from 2 all the way up to 12, you should be behind the staging area there. There we come. Matthew Gadberry, Matthew Watkins, John Mallett, he's in the lead. Keith Parker, Anthony Carlisle, and Jake Jackson. So I believe John Mallett must have won that. We had one rider that even throwed a shoe. I don't think these riders ever throwed shoes, but sometimes this happens too. Not only at a horse show, but at a bike race, we have a rider to throw a shoe. All right, now there you have the big wheel. So they'll get one more turn at the Moto qualifying heats, and then we'll have our main event here after we have one more qualifying round. So, Mr. Flagman, if you'll pull up the finish line there for these riders, and we're back up into the starting gate there with Moto number 3. We've got Jared Hull from Saxton, we've got Sean Taylor from Saxton, Don Lawson from Saxton, and Chan Fair from East Prairie, and he is sponsored by Reeves Boomland from Charleston, Missouri. So all 4 riders are anxiously awaiting the starting there. We've got a rider over here in front of the tire that's getting his shoe back on, one of the big wheelers. As soon as we get him up and on his feet, well, then we'll be ready to start the race. Want to remind you that the Optimist Club does have the refreshment stand down at the end of the track there by the starting line. They have hot dogs, hamburgers, Pepsis, candy gum, lots of hot coffee, chips, peanuts, suckers, and all sorts of beef sticks and beef jerky. So go down there and support the Optimists there, and they'll take care of you if you get hungry or thirsty. Also, we want to remind you at this time to please pick up all the cups and papers and stuff and put them in the proper place into the barrels and stuff. You've been real kind about helping us do that in the past, and we'd like for you to continue to do so. As the gate drops, the number 1 plate that from Mississippi goes out in the front, and that's Jared Hull. Up and over the first whoop-de-doo, down into the first big berm, and it's still Jared Hull, and as he picks up a commanding lead. And Jared Hull is still cranking it out there. He's the #1 rider in Mississippi there. Also, he's carrying the #4 in the state of Missouri this time. Into the hairpin. Still Jared Hull. And as Jared goes off the track, #122 rides out, and that's Chad Fair from East Prairie, sponsored by Reeves Boomland. So as you take it over the tabletop, that's Chad Fair, and then the #2 was Jared Hull. All right, back to our moto race number... Wait just a moment now. This race here will be moto number 5. This is the 8- and 9-year-old open class. This is Jason Rogers, Troy Pinkerton, Chad Wilson, Jason Stanridge, Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, Will Yarborough, and Tracy Buckler. And out in front, who knows what's going to happen? This could be anybody's race. I believe that's Bogler out in front. I don't know. All I know is Troy Pinkerton is in 3rd. I can tell who he is. 92 is rounding the corner there, and that is Stephen Groves from Charleston. So it's Groves, and #3 plate from Missouri is Tracy Bogler from Jefferson City, followed by Troy Pinkerton, and Will Yarborough is #4, and I don't know who the #5 rider was. But there you have it in the 8- and 9-year-old open. All right, now we'll move down to our 7-year-old beginner class in moto race number 6. We've got Jay Hucks, we've got Ryan Collins, Brent Taylor, and Chris Porter. As the gate drops down, and #123 is in the lead, and that is Brent Taylor. Up and over the first whoop-de-doos as the rider misses a pedal into the first berm, and we've still got Brent Taylor in the lead, I believe. All right, here we go. A rider drops off a pedal in the 4th spot back there, but he's picked up again. Into the hairpin they come, and it still could be anybody's race. #123 comes out in front, and that is Scotty Taylor, followed by #801, and that is Ryan Collins. So it's Taylor and it's Collins across in that order. All right, moto race number 7. We've got our 8-year-old beginners up in the gate, and that will be Eddie Hamlin, that will be Derek Alsop, Michael Allman, Jason Stanridge, and Kevin Williams. All of these riders are from Sykeston. Down drops the gate, and looks like #781 takes the lead. That is Derek Alsop. Derek Alsop is out in the lead. All right, up and over the berm, into the first berm they go. Derek Alsop is still in the lead. We've got that #2 rider that's really cranking hard, trying to overtake Derek Alsop as they come around into the last big berm, #3, and on out into the hairpin. Still it's Derek Alsop. #133 is #2, and that's Kevin Williams. So here we go. Derek Alsop, as Kevin Williams misses a pedal up and over the tabletop, it's Alsop, and it's Williams. All right, now we go back to moto race number 8A. Number 8A, I believe, let's see, are you going to run the 8A next? I believe this would be 6-year-old beginners. Let me see. No, this is moto number... No, they're going to stay with moto number 8. This is the 9-year-old beginners. All right, here you have them. Scott Schlosser, Danny Copeland, Sean Meredith, Darius Johnson, Michael Miller, Jeff Walton, into the first turn they go. And all riders are up and all riders are cranking, and let's see who is going to take that first spot. Looks like that #300 is Danny Copeland from Sykeston. And into the hairpin they come, and it's still Danny Copeland, followed by #100, and that is Darius Johnson, sponsored by Dutch. Up and over they go into the finish line. #300 was Danny Copeland. #100 was Darius Johnson. And I believe that's Brian Linden. Scott Schlosser was #3. All right, now we'll move back to the 8A, and this is the... All right, this is the 6-year-old beginners and under, 6-year-old and under in the beginners class, and of course all riders are strung out and they're all cranking, and let's see who's going to win this 6-year-old beginner class. As they come out, number 121 looks like he's in the lead, and that is Dane Lawson from Saxton. Dane Lawson followed by 116, and that rider is from Cape Girardeau, and it's Joshua Glick. So up and over the tabletop they go, and looks like Joshua Glick is really giving him a race there for that number 1 spot. All right, now we move back up to Moto race number 9 in the 10-year-old beginners. We've got Kemp Nicholas, we've got Jeff Hooks, Matt Steinbauer, Bradley Cox, and Mike Duff. All of these riders are in the starter's gate. As they watch the lights, the starter is making sure that everybody's ready. All the feet are on the pedals. As the eyes are on the lights, down drops the gate when it turns green, and Kemp Nicholas jumps out into the first place, followed by Jeff Hooks. All riders are up and cranking, up and over into the first berm they go. And it's Nicholas and it's Hooks in that order, 1, 2. Taking a commanding lead is Kemp Nicholas as he looks back to see how close Jeff Hooks is pushing on him. Into the hairpin they come. And on the way to the finish line is Nicholas, Hooks, and number 1, 2, 3, which is, let me see, that rider is Mike Duff. So it's Nicholas, Hooks, and Duff. All right, back to Moto race number 10. Moto number 10, we've got a list of 10-year-old beginners. All these riders are from Saxton. We've got Tim Gadberry, Patrick Murphy, Philip Kindred, Mark Grimes, and Gary Rowland. Number 1, 2, 6 takes the lead is Philip Kindred, and as they hang their pedals and the rider slips a pedal, so we've got a new leader in the race. Still could be anybody's race. As a rider, I believe, broke a chain or the chain come off one. Well, that's tough luck. All right, down into the third berm they come and on into the hairpin, and let's see who that rider number 131, followed by 737. 131 is Gary Rowland, followed by Tim Gadberry, up and over the tabletop, and looks like Rowland might have been beaten out of that second place spot. So it was Rowland and possibly Gadberry. I don't know. That was a close heat on the second spot. Your 11-year-old beginners in Moto race number 11 is Scott Miller, Tim Stallings, Alan Blanton, and Robert Smith. So here we go. Looks like Blanton is in number 2 slot there, cranking on that Diamondback as we turn into the first berm. And in number 2 spot there, we've got a fresh hour jersey with rider number 101. And that's Scott Miller, followed by Alan Blanton, and number 326 is Robert Smith. So it looks like we've got Alan Miller and we've got Alan Blanton in number 2. We've got Scott Miller number 1, and Robert Smith was number 3. Moto race number 12 is in your 12-year-old beginner class. All of these riders are Joey Causey, Clifford Fowler, Sean Garrett, Jason Bryant, and Daniel Whiteside, and Brian Dixon. Clifford Fowler is in number 1 spot, and he's being pushed out pretty hard and heavy there, and I believe we've got a new number 1 rider. We've got a rider down, but he'll be back up because I believe he wants to go ahead and score. Oh, there, the number 1 rider spun out right there into that hairpin. And number 777, we've got 3 riders down. So it's still anybody's race. Looks like number 438 from East Prairie is Jason Bryant. Up and over the tabletop they go. Jason Bryant would take first, and looks like it's Dixon in second. So who knows? It could still be anybody's race. Excuse me. All right, now we've still got a rider down, but I believe he's going to be all right here. We'll get him up off the track there on his feet just momentarily, so we'll hold the gate just for a moment. Want to remind you that we are being brought to you by PJ's Supply Company. We're being brought over the video images. Also by Fresh Hour Cycle Shop, Wilson Sykes and Food Lockers here, and Sykes and Cut Rate and Mix Printing. All of these sponsors have made it possible for us to be videotaped today. The video images is being manned today out here by Rodney McConnell and Gary Schaefer. These gentlemen are available for weddings or parties or reunions, anniversaries, or whatever that you might want to have taped there. So if you need their service, well, feel free to call on them. The video images here in Saxton. Okay, now we're back to racing in the 13-year-old beginners class. In Moto race number 13, we've got Keith Panchot, Wade Miller, and Carl Voss, and Neil Miles, and Shannon Meredith. And it's anybody's race, and who knows what's going to happen. Look what the race turned out last time. So we've got a commanding lead. As they come around into the third berm, it's rider number 562, and that's Carl Voss from Advance. All right, here we have it. We've got a new leader. I can't read the number plate. It looks like Sean Meredith and Carl Voss. Shannon Meredith and Carl Voss. All right, back to the Moto race number 14. This is the 13-year-old beginners. We've got Bobby Hutton, David Sutton, Jim Stallings, and Lonnie Ruckel. Lonnie Ruckner. Boy, I mean, it's a dead three-way heat for that whole slot there, and I don't know who's got it. Now looks like Hutton might have moved out into the lead as they go into the second berm, and the riders string out into a 1, 2, 3, 4 spot there. Whoop, we got a rider down. 2 riders are down, but they're all going to be back up into the race, and that's number 105, and as he heads for the home stretch, it's Bobby Hutton. Bobby Hutton. I believe Jim Stallings might have been 444 in number 2. Well, I think we got all riders back up and everybody crossing into the finish line, so we're back to Moto race number 15. We're with the 10 and 11-year-old open class. This 10 and 11-year-old open class is Stephen Morris, Kemp Nicholas, Mac Carmen, Mark Carmen, Scott Taylor, Sean Archia from East Prairie, and Jeff Ramsey, Mike Duff, and Jeff Welter. Jeff Welter is sponsored by Bird's Custom Exhaust here in Sykeston. So as all the riders are in the gate and they're all ready, as they watch the lights, down they go, and with the race is on. Looks like Welter is in the lead. Looks like Ramsey is in number 2 spot. Up and over the 2 whoop-de-doos they go into the first berm, and it's still Welter and Ramsey. All right, here we go, and it's still Welter and it's still Ramsey. Out of the hairpin they come. That's Welter and that's Ramsey, and number 117 is Sean Archia from East Prairie. So it's Welter, Ramsey, and Archia. That was your 10 and 11-year-old open class. This is the 14-year-old beginners class. Moto race number 16. We've got Donnie Cope, Rodney Poston, Herb Moore, Ron Meredith, Brian Shelton, Wilson Ross, and Mike Easley. And we've got a race. Herb Moore is in the number 1 slot as he jumps over the 2 whoop-de-doos into the first berm. So the number 1 rider is Moore, number 2 is Meredith as they turn into the hairpin. And here they come on down toward the finish, and it's Moore and Meredith and Ross. Moore, Meredith, and Ross. I believe they'll finish in that order. All right, we've got 15-year-old beginners up in the gate now. There should be 3 up there in Moto race number 17. Larry Cope from Sykeston, Charles Thurman from East Prairie, sponsored by Reeves Boomland, and Joe Bullinger from Sykeston. So as they come down the starting hill, there is rider number 129, and that is Charles Thurman from East Prairie, followed by Larry Cope from Sykeston. Joe Bullinger is not in this race. He is dropped out of the race. All right, so here they come down into the hairpin. Thurman from East Prairie into the hairpin, and Cope from Sykeston. Nothing happens. That's the way they'll end. Up and over the tabletop and across the finish line is Thurman and Cope. All right, now we've got 13-year-old open with Scooter Gilmore leading that in Moto race number 18. So now Scooter Gilmore is number 6 in the state of Mississippi. I believe he's dropped back in 2nd place, and I believe Travis Jackson is in 3rd. As they come around into the hairpin, number 206 is a rider from Cape Girardeau named Greg Gardner. All right, so there we have it. I mean, it's neck and neck, and I believe Gilmore took it from Gardner, and Jackson is right there giving it a hard So I don't know. Looks like it was Gilmore, Jackson, and Garner, I believe. We'll have to wait and see what the scores say. All right, moto race number 18A is Brian Bedell, Eric Stone, David Sutton, and Lance Farrell. And here we go. Into the first big berm, and the riders string out in that 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, and we've got a rider coming around commanding that number 1 spot, and he's got it. That's number 25B. That is Brian Bedell. So Bedell takes over. Bedell takes over. Bedell is in number 1 slot, and that Swin rider from Cape Girardeau is Eric Stone. All right, we've got our 14-year-old and over open class in race number 17. Mark Bendell, Matt King, Joel Bullock, Kenny Thiele, and Jerry Freshar as the gate drops down, and man, they're cranking those cranks as Freshar takes the lead. Up and over the first 2 big bumps and into the first big berm, and Freshar takes a commanding lead. Into the second berm they go. Still Freshar, and we've got a Swin jersey in the number 2 spot. Out of the hairpin, number 87 is
up here.
Joe Bullock. So it's Freshar and Bullock. Moto race number 20. 14-year-old and open. We've got Charlie Wren, Kim Carraris, Jerry Franklin, Scott Crisp, and Jay Sire as the gate drops down. The number 1 plate there in the state of Missouri is Tim Kokoris. Kokoris takes a commanding lead coming into the third berm, and it's still Kokoris with that number 1 Missouri plate. Factory Jack. Marco and Jim Wallace are not going home with any parts that they're selling. So they're across the road over there and they're selling them. So they wanted to remind you of that. All right, back to racing with Moto number 21. We've got our 6-year-old novice, and here we go. The number 1 6 expert is Jared Hull, and he's in the lead. And I believe Robin Chambers is the 6-year-old from Saxton, and he's number 2, and Brent Peters from Bertrand, and he is in number 3. So here we come, down into the third berm, and it's still Hull, and it's still Chambers. Out of the hairpin comes Hull. There goes Chambers, and there goes Peters. All right, then they'll finish in that order in the 6-year-old novice in motor race number 21. Your 7-year-old novice is up in the starting gate, and they're in motor race number 22. We have Sean Taylor, Chad Fair, Chucky Hornback, Paul Renicky, J.C. Williams, and Scotty Jackson. So we've got a wide selection of riders from Saxton, East Prairie, Dexter, and Charleston, and Bertrand. Here we go, number 925, and that rider is Shawnee Taylor from here in Saxton with the Freshar jersey on. Shawnee Taylor into the first berm. And here we come. On down with the 7-year-old novice in moto race number 22 into the hairpin, and that's still Shawnee Taylor from here in Saxton. He's followed by number 122 is Chad Fair. There goes a rider off the track, but he's going to get back into his position. Number 00 is Paul Renicky from Dexter. So I believe you have it, Taylor, Fair, and Renicky from Dexter. 8-year-old novice are in the starting gate at this time. We've got moto race number 23. Troy Pinkerton, Chad Wilson, John Hackworth, Scott Collins, and Will Yarborough. Yarborough is in the lead, followed by Pinkerton. And there we have it, into the first berm. Will Yarborough taking commanding lead over Pinkerton in number 2. And on down into the third berm, and here we go, as Will Yarborough is in the lead. He comes into the hairpin turn. So we've got Yarborough and we've got Pinkerton, and number 318 is John Hackworth. Up and over the tabletop they go, Yarborough, Pinkerton, and Hackworth. All right, back to 9-year-old novice in moto race number 24. We've got Jimmy Smith, Jason Rogers, Chris Ryan, Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, and Barry Pinnell. Tracy Buckler from Jefferson City. Number 3 in Missouri is Tracy Buckler, the 9-year-old expert riding in this race. All right, here we go. 9-year-old novice, Tracer Buckler, number 3 in Missouri, followed by 92 G, and that's Stephen Groves. So it was Buckler and Groves. We got a couple riders down, but they're jumping back up here, and they're going to go ahead and cross over the finish line so they can qualify into this moto heat. Your 8 and 9-year-old powder puff riders are up in the starting gate now in moto race number 25. Moto race number 25. So 25 through 35 should be back in the staging area in behind the hill. Moto race number 25 is your 8 and 9-year-old powder puffs. We have Delta Dawn Fowler, Becky DeCreek, Becky Bryant, and Nicole Williams and Jennifer Almond. Becky DeCreek is in number 1 spot. As they turn into the first turn, still Becky DeCreek. Oh, one rider goes down as the other riders miss her, and she'll be back up. I'm sure she'll qualify before the race is over. All right, there we have number 404 out of the hairpin. That's Becky DeCreek. Number 123 is, or number 133 is Nicole Williams. So it's DeCreek and Williams. All right, there we have it, DeCreek and Williams. Back up into the starting gate. We have moto race number 26. We have 3 riders in this race. We have Ricky Pryland, Scott Taylor, and Jeff Ramsey. We still got a rider on the track there. We're going to wait till we get the rider up there, and we'll be right on back into racing here. Just for a moment, I want to remind you, we have some more prizes to be given away here for our drawings. Also, we're being brought to you on video images by PJ's Supply, Fresh Hour Cycle Shop, Wilson's Frozen Food Lockers in Saxton, Saxton Cut Rate, and Meeks Printing. All of these people have made it possible for us to be here today with our video images that we're taping. I've been informed that the New Madrid County R1 Enlarged School District bus has just arrived back behind the spectators there over by Dutch's truck. And these are 30 special education students that's come up here today. They have 5 teachers that's brought them up. They are special guests of the Optimist Club, and Dutch, your certified lockmaster. These kids are called Dutch's Kids. The bus has come on, and we would like to welcome the special students from New Madrid County here as guests of the Optimist Club, as well as Dutch, your lockmaster. So welcome to the Cottonmouth BMX Booster Club, your 6th race of the season. So our rider is back up on her feet out on the track. I don't know what happened to her bike. It looked like the front wheel might have locked up there, and it kind of spun her over there, but she's going to be all right. So we'll be back to racing here now that we've got the track cleared. So as soon as the yellow flags go down, then we'll be ready to start the race again. Looks like the flags are down. They're bringing the rider on across the track there, so we should have 3 riders up in the gate, and they're there. They're anxious to go. We have Ricky Pylon, we have Scott Taylor, and Jeff Ramsey. All of these riders are from Saxton, and they're 10-year-old novice riders. So, Mr. Starter, I believe when you're ready, as the gate drops, Jeff Ramsey takes the lead. As they go over the first little whoop-de-doo into the doubles, up and over and down into the first big berm, and it's Jeff Ramsey. Followed by the Fresh Hour is Scotty Taylor with the Fresh Hour jersey. So here you have into the 3rd berm, and it's still Ramsey taking a commanding lead as he goes into the hairpin. All right, Jeff, as he cranks out, you're in number 1. Scotty Taylor is in number 2. And Ricky Pylon is number 3. And up and over the tabletop they go. Finish is Ramsey, Scotty Taylor, and Pylon in that order. 6 p.m. What channel? Local channel 6. 11-year-old novice in moto race number 27. And it's a full 8-man gate. Stephen Morris, Mike Payne, Mark Carmen, Sean Archie, Daniel Vaughn, Jeff Welter, J.J. Stewart, and Buddy Montgomery. And it's anybody's race. All riders are up and all riders are cranking as they turn into the second berm, into the third berm, and around into the hairpin. And we've got a rider that's taking a commanding lead. That's number 120, and that is Daniel Vaughn from right here in Saxton. So it looks like it's going to be Vaughn, followed by the Fresh Hour Cycle, or Fresh Hour Jersey there. I believe that is J.J. Stewart. Moto race number 28 in your 10 and 11-year-old powder puff riders. We've got Meredith Lewis, Amy Lindsay, Priscilla Rogers, Farrah McDonough, and Vicki Barker. And here we go. Number 412 is taking the lead, and that's Vicki Barker from here, and followed by Farrah McDonald. Farrah McDonald, I believe, is taking the lead. I believe Farrah McDonald is in the lead as she is followed by Vicki Barker. As they turn down the third berm, coming out of the hairpin is Farrah McDonald. She has taken a commanding lead over number 412 is Vicki Barker, followed by number 268 is Meredith Lewis. So it's McDonald, and it's Barker, and it's Lewis in that order. 13-year-old novice in Moto race number 29. Brian Bedell, Scooter Gilmore, Greg Garner, Lewis Jones, and Eric Stone. Bedell and Gilmore are Saxton riders. Garner is Cape Girardeau, Lewis Jones is from Dexter, and Eric Stone is from Cape Girardeau. So the race is on, and there you have it. Into the first berm they go, and all riders are still up, and all riders are cranking, and they're working hard for that number 1 spot, and it still could be anybody's race. Number 94 comes out in front. Eric Stone from Cape Girardeau. He is listed on mine as number 262, so I don't know what the problem with the number plate is there. Race number 30 is Scott Billalenti and Fred Sunroll and Jimmy Brewer. Moto race number 30, and these are 13-year-old novice, and also Travis Jackson is a 13-year-old expert that will be riding in this Moto heat number 30. All 4 riders are up in the starting gate. As they watch the lights, the starter makes sure that they have the feet on the pedals. Make sure that all riders are ready as they watch the lights as the gate drops. Travis Jackson breaks out into the lead at this point, up and over the first 2 whoop-de-doos there into the big berm, and it's still Travis Jackson in the lead. Travis Jackson is the 13-year-old expert rider from Saxton. He is riding in with the Moto race number 30 in the 13-year-old novice race. Coming out is number 5, Scott Billalenti from Memphis, Tennessee. So it looks like Jackson and Billalenti from Memphis, Tennessee. "14-year-old novice race number 31, and there we go. Mark Bedell, Jay Sire, Alan Meeks, Steve Bennett, and Kevin Miller. So as they come into the third berm, we'll see if we can pick up who the leader is. That's number 11, Jay Sire from Memphis, Tennessee, as he comes out of the hairpin. Followed and pressured by number 37B is Mark Bedell from Cape Girardeau. So I believe the Memphis, Tennessee rider might have been beat by the Cape rider. So it looks like it might have been Mark Bedell in number 1 spot there. Moto race number 32 is Mike Lucale from Cape Girardeau, Billy Maxton from DuQuoin, Illinois, Sean Buchanan from Saxton, David Reinhardt from Saxton, and Scott Crisp from Memphis, Tennessee, riding as expert. That's the Memphis rider up and over the big jump there into the first berm. He's the expert rider, is Scott Crisp. He's taking the lead. As they come into the second berm, up and over the little whoop-de-doo into the third berm, down into the hairpin turn, and it's still your expert rider from Memphis, Tennessee, followed by number 301, and that is Sean Buchanan from right here in Saxton. So Sean Buchanan from right here in Saxton, you gave that expert rider a real good ride there as the 14-year-old novice riders. 15-year-old novice riders are up now in the starting gate, and they're in race moto number 33. We have Matt King from Saxton, Carl Ottingling from Toccola, Illinois, Matt Lucrell from Cape Girardeau, John Whitten Jr. from Saxton, Robert Mullins from Saxton, Charlie Wren from Cape, and Rich Lewis from Saxton. And it's anybody's race, and looks like Whitten is out in the lead, followed by that Mullins, I believe. All right, there we go. And that's Whitten, and that's Mullins, and that's Lewis, and that's Matt King. And I mean, these guys is putting some pressure on. There goes Whitten across the line, there goes Mullins, there goes Lewis, and there goes King in that order, 15-year-old novice riders. Your 12-year-old novice riders in moto race number 34 is Stevie Hammer, Lance Farrell, John Marble, and Adam Rogers, and Raymond Brown. And here we go. The race is on, up and over the first two big whoops, and down into the first berm they go. Still anybody's race. They're all tied pretty close together. Anything could happen. As all riders are still up and all riders are cranking. Down in, whoop, a rider missed his pedal. That was the number 1 rider right there, and that's number 104, and that's John Marble from Saxton. Looks like Marble from Saxton, and it's going to be a real heat there in the number 2 spot, and I couldn't catch the number plate. So Marble took number 1. Moto race number 35. Your 12-year-old novice rider is Mark Drombeck from Cape Girardeau, J.W. Hackworth from Saxton, Ron Ryan from Saxton, Chuck Largent from Saxton, and Travis Smith from Saxton. There you have it, number 111. Chuck Largent looks like he's in the lead as he goes into the first berm. Chuck Largent has still got the lead. As they turn into the second berm, up and over the whoop into the third berm. Chuck Largent, followed by number 317, J.W. Hackworth. So here we go. There goes Largent, there goes Hackworth, and there comes Ryan. All right, there you have it. "16-year-old novice riders are in the gate now. In moto race number 36, we have Jim Porter, John Chad, and Ward Carroll, your expert rider from St. Louis. So that's Ward Carroll right out in front with the 16-year-old expert. Jim Porter is a novice rider here in town, so he would be a complete class in behind the expert rider, but we put both of these riders in just so we could have a heat. Both of these riders will trophy. So the number 1 rider across the 16-year-old number 1 Missouri plate is Ward Carroll across the finish line. Jimmy Porter, you give him a good race from Saxton, 16-year-old novice. 17-year-old expert riders are up in the starting gate at this time, and this is moto race number 37. We have Todd Morris, Margot Carroll, and John David. All right, so we've got Margot out in front, and it's still Margot in front into the first berm. These are 17-year-old expert riders. Margot Carroll from St. Louis, she carries the national number 7, and down she goes. And boy, I tell you, what nice sportsmanship there for him to stop. That's the number 5 plate rider in Missouri is Todd Morris from Richmond Heights. Thank you for your sportsmanship, Todd. That is kind of you. That is very kind of you, Todd. Thank you very much for your sportsmanship. So there you have it. And the race is on again. As they finish, Todd Morris from Richmond Heights, number 5 in the state, and Margot Carroll, number 7 in the nation from St. Louis, Missouri. All right, our 17-year-old novice riders are in the gate. As they drop down, it's Joe Bullock, Kenny Thiele, and Jim Moore. Looks like number 913 is Kenny Thiele out in front. Kenny Thiele is still number 1 as he comes into the second berm. I don't know what happened to the other 3rd rider in this race, but anyway, we've still got a race going here. As they come out of the hairpin, number 87B is Joe Bullock, followed by number 913 is Kenny Thiele. So we have it, Bullock and Thiele, 17-year-old novice riders. 12 and 13-year-old powder puff riders in moto race number 39. As the gate drops down, looks like Shelly Meeks gets the whole spot, and there she goes in the number 1 spot. And I believe she's dropped back into number 2 spot now as they turn into the first berm. Shelly Meeks is still in the second spot there, and I can't see who that number 1 rider is, but I'll get the plate in just a moment. That's number 103 is Julie Wilson from right here in Saxton. So out of the hairpin comes Julie Wilson, Shelly Meeks, and number 302 goes off the track, and I believe number 112 is going to outdo that number 302. So it's Julie Wilson, Shelly Meeks, and I can see who that other number plate was there. All right, we have our 14 and over in our powder puff class, moto race number 40. We have Susan Chitler, Margot Carroll, and Deborah Duff. So Margot Carroll is out cranking again for that number 1 spot, and there that rider missed her pedal. Margot Carroll, 14-year-old and over powder puff race from St. Louis, Missouri, number 7 in the nation. As she comes into the hairpin, there she goes, number 96A. That's Susan Chitler from Memphis, Tennessee. The other rider is Deborah Duff from right here in Saxton. So there you have it. Carroll, Chitler, and Duff. All right, our 14 and 15-year-old cruiser class is Carl Entingling, John Whitten, and Jerry Freshire. Freshire, Entingling, and Whitten. As Freshire takes a commanding lead, he comes into the 3rd berm, and it's still Freshire on the cruisers in the 14 and 15-year-old cruiser class. So there we go. Freshire is up and over the tabletop as he takes the finish line, followed closely by the Entingling from Tuskegee, Illinois, and John Whitten Jr. from right here in Saxon takes 3rd. So there you have the second moto heat of the day. We're going to get back over here and draw some more prizes as we take a break right here just for a moment. We're going to draw again from Burger Chef. They've got 2 fun meals that they're going to give here today. So give me a ticket out of that box there. Calder Creek draws Amy DeWitt. She is age 12-year-old powder puff. All right, that's for 2 fun meals from Burger Chef. Give me another fun meal, 2 more fun meals from Burger Chef. Coming out, Michael Miller, age 9 years old, beginner. Cardinal Drive-In here in Saxton gives away 5 regular burgers, a choice of fries or tater tots, and a medium drink. So give me a number out there for these 5 burgers. Jay Sire, age 14 years old, riding the open class. Jay Sire, S-E-I-E-R, age 14, open class. So if Amy DeWitt will come up for her 2 fun meals from Burger Chef, Michael Miller, come up for your 2 fun meals from Burger Chef. Jay Sire, come up for your Cardinal Drive-In for 5 regular burgers, choice of fries or tater tots, and a medium soft drink. And let's see, let's get another name out of there for Homestead Distributing Company. 2 6-pack packages of Mellow Yellow is won by Jeffrey Ramsey, age 10-year-old. He's riding in novice and open class. So Jeff Ramsey, if you'll come up and collect your prize from Homestead Distributing.
Mike Miller, what he win?
All right, these 2 here gets fun meals. Good for 1 fun meal. Get 2 fun meals there and 2 fun meals there.
Here's Michael here.
Okay.
Who's Jay
You get the 2 Mellow Yellows.
Who's Jay Sear?
Jay Sire. Where's Amy DeWitt? There you are. That's 5 burgers. We have Matt Hucks from Saxton, Justin Collins from Saxton, Doyle Knoll, Robin Bryant, and Ben Bryant. All of these riders are from Saxton. Now, this is the third heat of this moto that these riders are in, and each of these riders are qualifying. They are qualifying. These riders will not trophy at this time. They're only qualifying for the main heat. Now, the best 4 out of these 5 riders that are in the gate will qualify, and the same will take place with the next moto number 2. Mr. Starter, when you're ready, drop the gate and let's begin racing with our moto number 1 with our big wheel riders. Here we go. As the gate drops down and they look over to see who might take up that number 1 spot, looks like Ben Bryant. Ben Bryant takes first. Ben Bryant took first. And let me see if I can tell who that rider is there that took second. I can't tell. Turn his big wheel around there, Dad, so I can see what number it is. D, that's number D. That was Doyle Knoll from Saxton. He took second. All right, now here we go again with moto number 2. No, they've crossed it out. All right, all these riders are cranking, and we've got a winner that just crossed the line. That's Jonathan Mallett. Took the number 1 slot then. Jonathan Mallett, I believe, was number 1 then. And I believe that Matthew Gadberry might have been number 2 in that. But we've got some scores down there. And they have got the order that the riders come across the finish line. So they'll have a main event coming up here after the end of the 3rd moto. Back to racing up on the hill, we've got our 7-year-old and under open class. We've got Jared Hull, Sean Taylor, Dane Lawson, and Chad Fair. All of these riders are from Saxton except Chad Fair, and he's from East Prairie, and he's sponsored by Reeves Boomland. All right, we've got that number 1 plate out there in front again. That's Jared Hull. These are 7-year-old and under in the open class. I believe Jared is still out in number 1 as he takes the second berm up and over the whoop-de-doo around into the 3rd big berm as he drops down into the hairpin turn, and that's Jared Hull, followed by number 122, and that's Chad Fair from East Prairie. So I believe you'll have it in that order. Jared Hull, followed by Chad Fair, and I believe that the other 3rd and 4th rider is either Taylor or Lawson. I couldn't tell on the number plate. 6-year-old beginners and under. We have Paul Schuhart, Jonathan Buchanan, Joshua Glick, Dane Lawson, and Ben Bryant. That's number 8A. All right, we had the wrong moto sheet on that. These are 8- and 9-year-old opens. Jason Rogers, Troy Pinkerton, Chad Wilson, Jason Stanridge, Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, Will Yarborough, and Trace Buckler. So the 3rd in Missouri is coming out there from Jefferson City is Buckler. 92 is Groves.
Moto and the main, Jim Wallace and Ward Carroll will put on a show for us. That's the way the program.
Okay, I've just been informed here that after the 3rd moto and the mains, Jim Wallace and Ward Carroll will put on a little show for us, a little exhibition. So between them, stick around and watch. We're going to have some excitement there.
What one is this? What one is this?
All right, this is moto race number 9. We've got our 10-year-old beginners on the track.
Yeah, right here.
1, 2, 3 is in the lead, and that's Mike Duff, followed by 201. That's Matt Stanbar. So across the finish line they go.
It's Duff and Steinbar.
So it's Duff and Steinbar. Moto race number 10 should be in the gate. Your 10-year-old beginners, we've got Tim Gadberry, Patrick Murphy, Philip Kindred, Mark Grimes, and Gary Rowland. As they're cranking them out up and over the first big jumps, as they go into the first berm, we've got a rider that's taking quite a commanding lead. We've got a pretty good race going for second place. Number 781 is the leading rider. I don't have his number here. All right, the wind is taking our Moto sheets away from us here again.
It's 781. How about this?
Yeah, that was 8-8.
What?
All right, now we're back to this race number 8, Moto number 8 in the 9-year-old beginners. That's number 300. It's out in front right now, and that's Danny Copeland from Sykeston. 300 is Danny Copeland from Sykeston, followed by Darius Johnson from Sykeston, number 100. So it's Copeland and Johnson, and number 124 coming around is Michael Miller. So up and over they go, the tabletop down across the finish. You've got Copeland, you've got Johnson, and you've got Miller, and I believe they'll finish in that order. Now we're back to the race 8A, which is our 6-year-old beginners. They're up in the starting gate. They're Paul Schuhart, Jonathan Buchanan, Joshua Glick, Dane Lawson, and Ben Bryant. These are our 6-year-old beginners. The wind is taking quite a toll on our Moto sheets. But it's number 121, and he's out in the lead, and that's Dane Lawson from right here in Sykeston. As they go into the big berm down there, and I believe Joshua Glick is moved back trying to pull that second place spot. He's on that 18-incher there, and as he did just do that, he come in second place. So we've got Dane Lawson coming into the hairpin. We've got Joshua Glick, and we got number 111, which is Jonathan Buchanan. Joshua Glick, I believe you almost done it. All right, we're in Moto race number 9. This is our 10-year-old beginners. We've got Kemp Nicholas, Jeff Hooks, Matt Steinbauer, Bradley Cox, and Mike Duff. All of these riders are in the starting gate as Kemp Nicholas takes the lead, followed by Jeff Hooks. All right, and it's still Nicholas in the lead. Jeff Hooks has dropped back into third position as they turn into the second berm. On around. Kemp Nicholas followed by number 201, which is Matt Steinbauer. So there we go. Nicholas, Steinbauer, and Hooks. On down over the tabletop goes Nicholas. There goes Steinbauer, and there goes Hooks at the finish. Moto race number 10. This is still 10-year-old beginners. We've got Tim Gadberry, Patrick Murphy, Philip Kindred, Mark Grimes, and Gary Rowland. All of these riders are in the starting gate. There's 5 of them up there, and all of them are from Sykeston. They're 10-year-old beginners. As they get their pedals straight, they keep their eyes whooped. We've got a rider that's trying to get his mouthpiece fixed. All these riders, it's NBL rules that you must have your headgear on, you must have your mouthpiece on, and our starter is making sure of that. As the riders watch the lights, down drops the gate, and the race is on with the 10-year-old beginners, and we've got a number, I don't know who's in front. Man, I mean, that is a heated race all the way. Now they're beginning to string out a little bit. Not too much, though. It still could be anybody's race. 10-year-old beginners. As they come into the hairpin, somebody will win. Number 126 and number 737. 126 is Philip Kindred and 737 is Tim Gadberry. Up and over the tabletop they go, and I'll believe they finished in that order. 11-year-old beginners is back up in the starting gate now. We've got Moto race number 11. All back into Moto number 21. You should be in the staging area. Out in front, number 101 is Scott Miller. Alan Blanton is number 2. As they go into the first berm, Miller is still number 1 and Blanton is number 2. As Blanton is cranking hard, he might catch him. And into the hairpin. Number 101 comes out. That's Scott Miller. There goes Blanton, and number 326 is Robert Miller. So here we have it. Scott Miller from Sikeston, number 1. Alan Blanton, sponsored by Standard Printing Company here in Sikeston, number 2. And number 3 was Robert Smith, I believe. All right, 12-year-old beginning race. Moto number 12. We've got Joey Causey, Fowler, Garrett, Bryant, Whiteside, and Brian Dixon takes the lead. Now we've got a rider down, but he'll be back up. I know he wants to score. We've got one rider taking a commanding lead. That's number 250, and that's Daniel Whiteside in the lead. All right, as they come out of the hairpin, it's Whiteside, and it's Fowler, and it's Bryant. So there they go across the finish line. Whiteside, Fowler, and looks like Bryant. All right, the rider that went down, he's back up, and he's coming on across down, going into the tabletop. He must go ahead and take his back across the finish line so that he would score. Back to Moto race number 13 with your 13-year-old beginners. We've got Keith Panchot from St. Louis, Wade Mettler from St. Louis, Carl Voss from Advance, Neil Miles from Advance, Sean Meredith from right here in Sikeston. He's sponsored by Johnson Auto and Tractor Parts. So as they come out of the first big berm, up and over the whoop-de-doo into the second berm, and it's still anybody's race, who knows what's going to happen? As they come into the hairpin, on the way to the finish, number 300 is Keith Panchot from St. Louis, Missouri. So up and over the tabletop, and it looks like Panchot. And I don't know, it was close for second and third, and I don't know who that was. Sean Meredith might have been in there. I don't know. Moto race number 14, still in the 13-year-old beginners. We've got Bobby Hutton, David Sutton, Jim Stallings, and Lonnie Ruckler. Down the gate drops. Number 105 is in the lead, and that's Bobby Hutton from Sikeston. Up and over the two whoop-de-doos they go into the first berm, and they string out into the 1, 2, 3, 4 order. We've got a good race, and the number 1 rider in that moto just missed a pedal. That was Bobby Hutton. But he still maintains his lead as he comes out of the hairpin, and number 115 is following him up pretty good, and that's Lonnie Rutger from Sikeston. So it's Hutkin, Rutger, and 91S is David Sutton from East Prairie. Those were 13-year-old beginners. Your 10 and 11-year-old open class in moto race number 15 is up in the starting gate at this time. We've got Stephen Morris, Kemp Nicholas, Mark Carmen, Scott Taylor, Sean Archer, Jeff Ramsey, Mike Duff, and Jeff Welter. As the starter makes sure that the pedals is all straight and they watch the starting lights, the gate drops down and up and over the first jump they come, and Jeff Welter and Jeff Ramsey. Down in the first big turn, and it's still Welter and Ramsey. Ramsey's pushing him hard as they're continued to crank. All right, here we come. The race is on. Welter is coming out of the hairpin. Ramsey is number 2. 915 is number 3, and that's Scott Taylor. Up and over the tabletop goes Welter, Ramsey, and Taylor, and I believe they'll finish in that order. 14-year-old beginners. Race number 16, Donnie Cope, Rodney Poston, Herb Moore, Ron Meredith, Brian Shelton, Wilson Ross, and Mike Aisley. And we've got a race on. Looks like number 107, Herb Moore must be in the lead. Herb Moore in the lead. Meredith and Ross into the third berm. Moore number 1. Out of the hairpin. Moore, 1, 2 riders, 3 riders down. We've got a new rider for second and a new rider for third. All the riders are back up. Moore takes first. Poston from Cape Girardeau takes second, and I don't know who took third. Mike Easley from Cape Girardeau, I believe, was third. 15-year-old beginning class, Moto number 17, Larry Cope from Saxon and Charles Thurman from East Prairie, sponsored by Reeves Boomland. Both riders are in the starting gate as the gate drops down, and it's a neck-and-neck dead heat for the whole shot. And I believe out of the spot there comes the number 129 Thurman, I believe, is in the lead. All right, here we go. In the lead is Charles Thurman from East Prairie, sponsored by Reeves Boomland, as he comes into the hairpin. Out of the hairpin turn comes number 2 rider is Larry Cope, and he's from Saxton. All right, there you have it. 15-year-old beginners in Moto race number 17. Larry Thurman and Larry Cope. Trophies are ready in the 8 and 9-year-old open class, your 7-year-old and under open class, 8-year-old beginners and 7-year-old beginners. Your trophies are ready. Travis Jackson takes the lead here in the 13-year-old open class in Moto race number 18. So we still got Jackson cranking it out in number 1 spot, and I mean, he is turning those cranks. Out into the third berm, up into the hairpin, we've got a couple riders down. Jackson is still in the lead. Number 206 has followed him is Greg Garner from Cape Girardeau. So it's going to be Jackson, and it's going to be Garner. And the third place is number 543 is Neil Miles from Advance. All right, now we're back to the 13-year-old open. Again, we've got Moto race number 18A. Brian Bedell, Eric Stone, David Sutton, and Lance Farrell. These riders are getting in the starting gate. And down drops the gate. Looks like we've got a dead heat for the whole shot again. Number 231 might have been in the lead. His number wasn't on my sheet the last time. I don't know who he is. Eric Stone from Cape Girardeau. His number is listed wrong on my sheet, but that is Eric Stone from Cape Girardeau in the number 1 spot. Moto race number 19, 14 years old and over in the open class, and it's anybody's race, and I believe those fresh hour jersey and that Swin jersey is a dead heat for number 1. Down goes a rider, down goes 3, and boy, they're scrambling those bicycles. They've got them straightened out, and the race is still on. We've got a new leader as he comes down into the hairpin turn. Bullock, King, and Fresh Hour. Here we go. Down and up and over the tabletop. And it's still Bullock as he rides the Swin jerseys from Cape. Matt King takes number 2. And Jerry Freshar takes number 3. All right, now we've got Moto race number 20. 14-year-old and over. Still in the open class. Charles Wren, Tim Carreras from St. Louis, Jerry Franklin from St. Louis, Scott Crisp, and Jay Sire, both Memphis, Tennessee riders. Number 1, Missouri, just took out the lead, Tim Carreras from St. Louis, Missouri. Number 1 rider in the state in the 14 and over open class. All right, there you have it. Number 1, number 3, and number 5. Number 1 is Carreras, number 3 is Chris from Memphis, Tennessee, and number 5 is Jerry Franklin from St. Louis, Missouri. Trophies are ready for 9-year-old beginners, 12-year-old beginners, and 11-year-old beginners. Your trophies are ready. Back to Moto race number 21. We've got 3 riders in this. Number 1 expert, 6-year-old Jared Hull takes the lead. 6-year-old novice is Robin Chambers and Brent Peters. Chambers is in second place, and Peters from Bertrand is in number 3. Trophies are ready in the 8 and 9-year-old open, 7-year-old and under, 8 beginners and 7 beginners. Back to the racetrack on the hairpin turn comes Jared Hull, your 6-year-old expert, as he is riding with 2 novice riders who is a class under him. That is followed by the second spot is Robin Chambers and Brent Peters from Bertrand. Moto race number 22. All from 22 to 32 should be in the staging area as the gate drops on the 7-year-old novice riders. And it's a dead heat there. There's about 3 riders in a dead heat. Freshire jerseys out in front. That would probably be Sean Taylor. All right, I believe Sean Taylor must be dropping back. The Chad Fair from East Prairie took the lead. Chad Fair has got the lead, followed by numbers 3 zeros, and that's Paul Rennick from Dexter. Chad Fair is in the lead, Paul Rennick, and that number 3 rider, I believe, is Scotty Jackson from Bertrand. Our number 1 rider went down there with Scotty Taylor, but I believe he'll be all right. They're seeing about him now, so we get him back up. We'll resume our racing here in just a moment. Trophies are ready in the 8 and 9-year-old open class, 7 and under open class, 8 beginner and 7 beginner. 9, 11, and 12 beginners, your trophies are ready. Trophies can be picked up at the south end of the track, down by the finish line. The van down there has got the trophies all out on the table down there. So if I called your trophies out for your class, they are ready. Again, I want to remind you that we'll have finals for the big wheel, 10-year-old beginners, 13-year-old beginners, 13 open, 14 open, 13-year-old novice, 14-year-old novice, and 12-year-old novice. Let me remind you again that we are being sponsored today by PJ's, the home of quality appliances for 45 years, Fresh Air Cycle Shop on South Main, your BMX headquarters, your Sykeston Frozen Food Lockers, Sykeston Cut Rate, and Mix Printing. All of these sponsors are making it possible for us to have our video images out here today to make a videotape of the race, which will be seen on our local channel, cable TV, Channel 6, on local cable TV. All right, Scotty Taylor, he's back up again. He's moving on, or Shawnee Taylor, that is. He's moving on up over the tabletop. He's going to take his bike on across down the finish line because he knows he wants to score. Let's give old Shawnee Taylor a big hand. There you go. All right. Now as we move back up to the 8-year-old novice, when Moto race number 23, we've got Troy Pinkerton, Chad Wilson, John Hackworth, Scott Collins, and Will Yarborough. As the gate drops down, Will Yarborough gets the whole shot, and he's in the lead. As they're cranking up over the first big 2 jumps there, and it's still Will Yarborough, and number 2 spot is Troy Pinkerton. As they go on down into the second big berm, and it's still Yarborough, and it's still Pinkerton. In the 3rd place spot is rider number 817, and that is Scotty Collins. So here we go. Yarborough, Pinkerton, and Collins. On down over the tabletop, and it's still Yarborough, and it's still Pinkerton, and it's still Collins, and they'll finish in that order. 9-year-old novice riders. Moto race number 24, Jimmy Smith, Jason Rogers, Chris Ryan, Clay Eves, Stephen Groves, and Barry Pinnell, and Tracy Buckler from Jefferson City, Missouri. As the gate drops, there we have it. The 9-year-old expert rider, Tracy Buckler from Jefferson City, takes the lead. And I hear the name is Tracer. Here we go. Tracer Buckler from Jefferson City takes a hairpin in the number 1 spot. That's the expert rider. Followed by number 92G, and that's Stephen Reeves from Charleston, Missouri. Followed by number 398, and that's Clay Eves. And I believe they'll finish just in that order. Trophies are ready for 6 and under beginners and 10 and 11-year-old open. Moto race number 25, 8 and 9-year-old powder puff rider, Delta Don Fowler from Saxton, Becky DeCreek, Becky Bryant, and Nicholas Williams. All right, looks like DeCreek might have taken the lead. We've got Delta Don Fowler, Becky DeCreek, Carrie Bryant, Nicholas Williams, and Jennifer Almond. As they come out of the hairpin, number 404, Becky DeCreek, number 740, that rider is Delta Don Fowler. So it's the Creek and Fowler.
I just got a novice in there, so I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna catch up with him, okay?
Okay.
So if you think I get my engagement.
Okay. All right, back to moto race number 26. We've got our 10-year-old novice riders, and down the hill they come, and looks like Jeff Ramsey might have the lead. It's neck and neck with the other rider there, I believe is Ricky Pilot. Ramsey, Pilot, and Taylor. All right, here we go. Jeff Ramsey is in the lead, coming around over the next little whoop into the third berm as they set up for the hairpin. Ramsey takes a commanding lead over number 504, that's Ricky Pilot, followed by number 504, Ricky Pilot. Number 915 is Scotty Taylor. So it's Ramsey, Pilot, and Taylor. Eleven-year-old novice in moto race number 27. As they're into a dead heat there, and it looks like that number 133 is Jeff Welter, and he's trying to take that lead. Jeff drops back into second place. All right, here we go. 11-year-old novice. I can't hardly see the number plate on the number 1 rider. 218 is J.J. Stewart. J.J. Stewart followed by Welter. J.J. Stewart and Welter. 10 and 11-year-old Powder Puffs. Moto race number 28. Meredith Lewis, Amy Lindsay, Priscilla Rogers, Farrah McDonald, and Vicki Barker. Here we go. Number 412, I believe, is in the lead at this time, and that's Vicki Barker from Saxton, followed by Farrah McDonald. All right, here we go. As the riders string out, and it's still anybody's race. Vicki Barker from Saxton, number 412, is in the lead, followed by Farrah McDonald. As they set up for the hairpin, and it's still going to be in that order. Number 213 is Priscilla Rogers from Cape Girardeau. So it's Farrah McDonald taking the lead at the finish line, beating out the Vicki Barker from Saxton, and number 3 was Priscilla Rogers from Cape Girardeau. 13-year-old novice, moto race number 29, Brian Bedell, Scooter Gilmore, Greg Garner, Lewis Jones, and Eric Stone from Cape Girardeau. As the riders break down that gate, I mean, it's anybody's race. Scooter Gilmore's high on the berm on the outside, and he's cranking real hard. Number 94 is in the lead. That's Eric Stone from Cape Girardeau. So Stone wins it. 14-year-old novice, moto race number 31, Mark Mendel, Jay Sire, Alan Meeks. This is still 13-year-old novice, moto number 30. Scott Belletti, Fred Senro, Jimmy Brewer, and Travis Jackson. All right, here we go. Number 5 is Scott Belletti from Memphis, Tennessee, followed by Travis Jackson, and number 3 is Jimmy Brewer. Here we go. Round up and over the tabletop goes Jackson. Jackson took first. Belletti, number 5 out of Memphis, was second. Jimmy Brewer was third. Now we're back to the 14-year-old novice in moto race number 31. As the gate drops down, and number 37 looks like he takes the lead there, and that's Mark Bendell from Cape Girardeau. And we've got a new second place rider now. Just Alan Meeks dropped back into third place. All right, number 37 is the Cape Girardeau rider, Mark Bendell, setting up into the hairpin as they come out. Number 11 is Jay Sire from Memphis, Tennessee. Couldn't tell who the number 3 rider was. Number 4 is Alan Meeks. Moto race number 32, Mike Luckel, Billy Maxton. That's Mike Luckrell, Billy Maxton, Sean Buchanan, David Reinhardt, and Scott Crisp. All right, there we have it. Scott Crisp, 14-year-old expert from Memphis, is riding with these 14-year-old novice, and he took a commanding lead for the race. That's a Memphis, Tennessee rider, Scott Crisp. He's number 3 rider. In first place, number 301, is Sean Buchanan. And I couldn't tell who the third place rider was. Moto race number 33. This is our 15-year-old novice. Matt King, Carl Ottingling, Matt Luckel, John Whitten Jr., Robert Mullins, Charlie Wren, and Rich Lewis. Whitten's got the lead, followed by Lewis and Matt King. All right, here we go. Out of the berm, Whitten, Lewis, and King. All right, here we go as they set up into the third berm, getting ready for the hairpin. All right, here we go. It's Whitten. Down goes Lewis. Matt King comes on, and number 196 is Carl Ottingling from Toluca, Illinois. So it's Whitten, King, and Ottingling. Moto race number 34. 12-year-old novice, Steve Hamra, Lance Farrell, John Marble, Adam Rogers, and Raymond Brown. As the riders start out in the front, looks like Lance Farrell might have been in the lead. Now I believe he's dropped back in second. All right, here we go. Into the second berm, all around into the third. Number 104 is in the lead. That's John Marble from Saxton. John Marble, followed by that number 94F, is Lance Farrell from Cape Girardeau. And it's going to be a close one for that third place spot. And I believe that might be Raymond Brown from Saxton. Trophies are ready for 14 and 15-year-old beginners, 7, 8, 9, and 6-year-old novice, 8 and 9-year-old powder puffs. All your trophies are ready. Moto race number 35. Still with the 12-year-old novice. We've got Mark Dromback, J.W. Hackworth, Ron Ryan, Chuck Largent, and Travis Smith. Up and over the berm they go, and looks like Largent is in the lead. All right, Ron Ryan takes the lead as they come in and out of the first berm. All right, so we've got Ron Ryan with a commanding lead. Number 317 is J.W. Hackworth. So it's Ryan and it's Hackworth. And Ryan and Hackworth and Smith, I believe it'll be in that order. Yeah. Did they get it fixed with the... Yeah, okay, all right. All right, the rider there, Ward Carroll, told me that he was going to give the novice rider a little bit of a head start there to make kind of a handicap in this race, which is a real kind gesture on his part. So in the number 1 spot again, after a handicap start would be Ward Carroll, your 16-year-old expert from St. Louis, Missouri, followed by Jimmy Porter, who is on number 131 from right here in Saxton. So again, it's Carroll and Porter. Good racing, gentlemen. All right, now here we go with our 17-year-old expert riders. Back again, we've got Margot Carroll, along with Todd Morris. Todd Morris is number 5 in Missouri, and Margot is number 7 in the nation, and they're riding in the 17-year-old expert class. As they turn the third berm and set up for the hairpin turn, Margot Carroll takes the lead. Into the hairpin and on out of the hairpin is Margot and Todd Morris from Richmond Heights. So it's Margot all the way to the finish line. "17-year-old novice, moto race number 38, Joe Bullock, Kenny Thiele. Bullock is in the lead, followed by Thiele. All right, there we go, down into the second berm. Bullock is still in the lead as he sets up for the third berm, down going into the hairpin. Bullock and Kenny Thiele. Number 87 is Bullock. Number 913 is Thiele from Cape Girardeau. Both of these riders are from Cape. Bullock, Thiele, there you have it. 12 and 13-year-old powder puffs in Moto race number 39. Ladies are in the gate. As they watch the lights down, drops the gate, and looks like Shelly Meeks takes the lead. All right, Shelly's being pushed out of the lead as she drops a pedal.
By Julie Wilson.
Julie Wilson. Now it's Shelly Meeks again. Shelly Meeks and Wilson. All right, here we come down into the hairpin, and Shelly Meeks is still cranking out for that number 1 spot. And Julie Wilson is number 2. Number 112 is number 3 spot there, and that is Amy Standridge from Saxon. So it's Meeks, Wilson, and looks like it's going to be Standridge. Trophies are ready for 10, 11-year-old novice and 10 and 11-year-old powder puffs. Back in the starting gate, we have Moto race number 40. We have 3 riders with 14-year-old and open powder puff. We have Susan Kitcher from Memphis, Tennessee, Margot Carroll from St. Louis, and Deborah Duff from Saxton. As these riders are in the gate, as they get the pedals all ready, they are watching the lights, and down they drop. Margot Carroll takes the whole shot into the lead, followed by the Memphis, Tennessee rider, Susan Ketcher from Memphis, Tennessee, number 2, and Debbie Duff right here in Saxton. All right. Margot Carroll takes a commanding lead over the Memphis rider. On down into the hairpin turn comes Margot Carroll. Number 96A is Susan Ketcher from Memphis, Tennessee. Number 3 will be Deborah Duff from Saxton. All right, the final moto is coming up here. It's moto number 41. That's Carl Ottingling, John Whitten Jr., and Jerry Freshar. These boys is riding in the 14 and 15-year-old cruiser class. Down drops the gate, and it looks like Freshar is in the lead, followed by Carl Ottingling. All right, now Whitten moved up into second, and it's still anybody's race. Freshar is number 1, Whitten is number 2, and Ottingling from Toluca, Illinois is in number 3 spot. Setting up for the hairpin, here they come. Freshar, Whitten, Ottingling. Up and over the tabletop, Freshar, Whitten, and Ottingling. All right, at this time, may I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please, at this time? We have got a trophy that we're going to give away out here today. I have just been informed that this big red, white, and blue trophy should go to the rider that has been the best sportsman rider on the track, as well as the rider that has put the most effort and made the most progress of any other rider out here, who has put his whole heart and had lots of willpower to get out here and compete in these races each and every week. That trophy goes to none other than the 7-year-old novice rider, J.C. Williams. So J.C. Williams, if you'll come up to the announcer's tower, we're going to present you with this sportsmanship trophy. So where is J.C. Williams at? Joe Schlosser, do you want to come up here and present it to him? Joe, where are you at? Come on, Joe. Here comes Joe. And there comes number 707. All right, let's hear it for him. How about a big hand for J.C. Williams? All right, done a good job. Go down and give the trophy to Joe. All right, there you have it, JC. He says he's going to be number 1 one of these first days here. He might even be moving up to expert, who knows? All right, we're going to draw some more names out of this box over here and give away some more of these fine prizes that these sponsors have given away, having us to give away for them. Kentucky Fried Chicken has 2 3-piece dinners that they're going to give away. So the first 3-piece dinner will be given away to, let's have a number. Let's have a name and a number. Don't look in the box now. Age 9-year-old beginner is Danny Copeland. Danny Copeland, where you at? Come up to the announcer's tower. You win a 3-piece dinner, compliments of Kentucky Fried Chicken. The other 3-piece dinner, compliments of Kentucky Fried Chicken, goes to age 8-year-old novice Scott Collins. Novice Scott Collins, you win a 3-piece dinner from Kentucky Fried Chicken. All right, Bonanza Family Restaurant gives out 1 dinner pass. Hold that and hold that. 7-year-old novice and open rider Chad Fair. Chad Fair, you win a dinner pass from Bonanza Family Restaurant. Give me another. All right, another dinner pass from Bonanza Family Restaurant is won by Fred Sinall, S-I-N-R-O-L-L, 13 years old. Fred Sinall, 13 years old. Compliments of Bonanza Family Restaurant, 2 dinner passes. All right, we have a certificate here from Pizza Inn for 1 small pizza and a small drink. That goes to Shannon Meredith, 13-year-old beginner. Shannon Meredith, if you'll come up to the tower and pick up your Pizza Inn prize. Okay, let's don't leave because we're going to have a show here by a couple of these expert riders. So you want to see these experts ride, we're going to have a show here for them in just a moment. Also, I want to remind you that we have the BMX Enterprise magazines for sale for 50 cents over at the registration table. So see Miss Paula Meeks for those. Trophies are ready in the 14 and 17-year-old expert class. 15 and 16-year-old novice class, and 16 expert is also ready. So that's 14, 16, and 17 expert trophies, and 15 and 16 novice trophies are ready. Yes. Let me see.
What?
Yeah, Chad Fair.
What up, Chad?
4 things to draw for. 3 things to draw for.
Let's see, give that to Chad Fair.
Chad Fair? Who's Chad Fair? You Chad Fair? There you go.
Now, who's this other Bonanza thing go to?
We still got 3 more to give.
Here, hold this, hold this, and hold that. All right, let's see. We're going to draw another prize or 2 out of the pack here. So we've got 1 ProLite V-bar pad and ProLite single stem pad from Walmart. Winner of that is age 13-year-old Sherry Hamlin. Sherry Hamlin, Powder Puff, 13 years old. You win the pads. Meredith, hold that so we'll see that she gets it. Who? Shannon Meredith did win something.
Scotty Jenkins drawing.
Scotty Jenkins is drawing the numbers out of here. So, Scotty, if you'll reach in there and draw us out another one, we're going to give away 2 meal tickets worth $5 a piece to Golden Corral. Golden Corral, free $5 gift certificates go to Clifford Fowler. Clifford Fowler, age 12 years old.
You got something else right to go right now? Go ahead.
Let me give these other meal tickets away. Hold this meal ticket. Give me another meal ticket. All right, we're going to draw for 2 more $5 free meal tickets, good for $5. Compliments of Mr. Wendell Carmen down at the Golden Corral. Jason Bryant, age 12-year-old beginner. Jason Bryant, 12-year-old beginner. riders, if I've called your name and you hear your name called, be sure and come up and pick your prizes up. All right, once again, we've got from the cycle shop in Cape Girardeau, we've got a number plate. Compliments of Cape Bicycle Sales and Service at 30 South Spanish, owner Eric Goodwin. That number plate will go to an 8-year-old beginner, Eddie Hamblin. Eddie Hamblin. All right, draw me one more prize out there to be given away is the Swin Maximizer BMX Competition tires, a real nice prize to be given to an 8-year-old Becky DeCreek. What name's on that? No, if somebody's not there, I don't guess we'd give them all out. Did somebody find that helmet?
I'm coming out.
Huh?
Are you here? I don't know.
Did you come get it?
Danny? Yeah. Well,
Did you come get the helmet?
Tommy? What's the name of that? This was down underneath the tower.
Okay, just leave it there and I'll see if I can find the owner. Thank you.
How many names are there?
8, I believe. All right. Here we have it, the 13-year-old novice. Moto number 1, Bedell, Gilmore, Garner, Jones, Stone, Valente, Sin, Roland, Brewer in the starting gate. Mr. Starter, if you're ready, I think we're all ready to race. Scores are at the scorer's line, and here we go. The race is on. And I mean, it's a dead heat for that number 1 hole shot as they go into the first berm, and it's anybody's race. Who knows what's going to happen again? And we keep getting a new winner every time we make a turn. All right, here we go. And it's number 6 in the number 6 took a commanding lead over number 94. That's Scooter Gilmore, number 94. I don't have the sheet up here with me. All right, we'll let the scorers decide all of that. Moto number 2 is 14-year-old and over open class. Here we go. Matt King takes the lead. No, that isn't Matt King. Whoop, we got a rider down. A lot of riders go high. All right, here we go. Into the hairpin as they set up. Number 1 is the leader and number 5 is 2. I don't have these riders' numbers. I didn't put them on my sheet here, so I can't tell you who they are. All right, looks like the track is clear. We're ready for Moto number 3. As it drops down. 94 is out in front, and I believe that rider is a Swin team rider from Cape Girardeau. That's your 12-year-old novice riders. As they come out of the hairpin, Ron Ryan is running number 3. There you have it. Moto number 4 is the big wheel race. All right, Gadberry, Mallet, Parker, Jackson, Noel, Collins, Robin Bryant, and Ben Bryant. All right, if all the big wheels are in the starting gate and everybody's ready, we're ready for a race. Whoa, hold the gate. Here comes the scores. Scores hadn't got here yet. Gotta wait on the scores. I've got a Cronus single event stopwatch. It's a blue stopwatch that someone left over here by the announcer's tower. So whoever this stopwatch belongs to, it's a digital type watch. You need to come over here and claim it. All right, our big wheels is down the hill they come. And I believe Ben Bryant is in the lead as he cranks up over the hill. There goes Ben Bryant in number 1. And it's Ben Bryant all the way to the finish line. All right, there you have it. There's a big wheel race. I can tell you who the winner is. That's Ben Bryant. I can't tell you who the second and third place winner is. But there'll be 3 trophies given in this class. All right, here we've got it. Moto number 5, 13-year-old beginner class. There'll be 3 trophies given in this class. Panchot, Voss, Miles, Meredith, Hutton, Sutton, Stallings, and Rucker. Stallings and Rucker. 13-year-old beginners. All right, the 13-year-old beginners are in the starting gate. The big wheel finish line is up. Track is clear. Mr. Flagman, you are ready. Mr. Starter, when you're ready. What's the name? Here we go. 13-year-old beginners. The scores didn't put my numbers beside of my riders, so I can't tell you who is riding in what position. Number 405 is out in the lead, and the rider done slipped a pedal that was in second place, and he's dropped all the way back to 4th, so it's 115 and 105 and 91S. Whoop, another rider went down. Well, I don't think anything's hurt but his feelings because he knows that he won't get the trophy. There'll only be 3 given away in the beginners class. Moto number 6 is your 10-year-old beginners. Moto number 6 is your 10-year-old beginners. We've got Nicholas, Hucks, Steinbauer, Duff, Gadbury, Murphy, Grimes, and Rowland. And I believe I know some of these riders, so I can probably tell you who will be in the front. There'll be 3 trophies given away for the top 3 riders as the gate drops out, jumps Kemp Nicholas in the number 1 spot. All right, that's Jeff Hooks following him in number 2 as they go into the first berm as they set up. Around goes Kemp Nicholas and Hooks. All right, here we go. On around, Kemp Nicholas, number 1. Hooks, number 2. As they come out of the hairpin, Kemp Nicholas and Jeff Hooks. Kemp Nicholas and Jeff Hooks. Up and over the tabletop, and the winner will be Kemp Nicholas. Number 2 will be Jeff Hooks, and I can't tell you who number 3 is. We had a rider down, but they got up, and he's going to be all right as he goes on across the finish line. Jason Bryant, you've got 5 minutes to show up to the announcer's tower to pick up your 2 $5 free dinners from Golden Corral. If you don't, we're going to draw another name. All right, this is Moto number 7. These people are 14-year-old novice riders. It's Bendel, Sire, Meeks, Bennett, Lucrell, Maxton, Buchanan, and Reinhardt. Out of the first hairpin turn comes the number 1 rider. There'll be 5 places paid in this. There'll be 5 places. There'll be 5 places paid. So the first 5 across the line is going to trophy. I could tell Alan Meeks was number 4, I believe. All right, 8-year-old Moto number 8, 13-year-old open class. Down drops the gate. Here we go. In this race is Scooter Gilmore out in front. Gilmore, Garner, Voss, Jackson, Bendell, Stone, Sutton, and Farrell. As they turn into the first berm there, we've got a rider or two down. There'll be 5 trophies in this class. Scooter is in the number 1 spot, followed by 25B. Travis Jackson will take 5th. There you have it. There you have it. That's the main heats. Now, will the 14-year-old experts, 15-year-old experts, 16-year-old experts, 17-year-old experts, 14 and over open class, and 14-year-old open powder puff class, all of you riders get in the starting gate. All of you riders get in the starting gate. We're going to have a run for the trophy. The pro says he wants to ride with you, but he's just going to ride for the heck of it. He won't ride for the trophy. The 14-year-old expert, 15, 16, and 17-year-old expert riders, all of you all get in the starting gate. You're 14 and over in your open class, and you're 14 and over in your powder puff class. All of you riders get up in the starting gate. We're going to have a run for the trophy. We'll have the Jim Wallace, the pro rider, here with us today. He's going to ride in there with you just for the fun of it. He'll be in the starting gate number 8 on the outside lane. That's our professional rider here from St. Charles, Missouri. We only had 1 professional rider to show up today. The others that were to come, something happened. They didn't get to come. A lot of those people are in the Competition Congress in St. Louis. That was being held today. So Wallace was the only pro rider, and he's here today. As the gate drops down and we've got the riders rolling, I believe the number 1 rider out in front may be the pro. No, the pro's in second. All right, here we go as they drop back down. Look how fast these people cross around this track. I mean, these guys really go to cranking as they slow down and set up for this hairpin turn. The pro, he jumped out of the competition. Now then, here we go. I can't tell you who the first, second, and third place riders are, but there you go. There's the one that won the trophy today. Will the number 1 rider come back over to the announcer's tower? Let me find out who you are so we can trophy you. All right, we're going to draw for two more of these $5 meal tickets from the Golden Corral. Compliments of Mr. Wendell Carmen. The owner of those didn't claim them, so apparently he must have left early or something. So we'll let Meredith Lewis draw me a new name out of the box. All right, the new winner is Matt Hucks, age 4 years old, big wheel rider. Matthew Hucks, age 4 years old, big wheel rider. If you're still here, come and claim your 2 $5 meal tickets from Golden Corral. Matthew Hucks. Did you win it? What's your name? Tim Kokoris. I've had it. That name today. Tim Kokoris. He is the number 1 rider here at the track today. He wins the run for the trophy. He's up here in the announcer's tower with me. How old are you, Tim?
15.
15 years old. And where are you from? Look out there at the camera.
St. Louis, Missouri.
He's down here from St. Louis, Missouri. He's the number 1 rider today, 15 years old, Tim Kokoris. So congratulations, Tim, and we hope to see you back here next racing season, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot. I'll be here.
Okay, there you have it. Let's give him a little round of applause. All right, Matt Hucks, did you ever get over here? Do you know him? Oh, I've got to draw your name.
You want me to draw another one?
Yes.
Okay.
Back over there, I think.
So we say go home. Well, hey, we're going to do some trick riders.
All right, where are the trick riders that are going to be here that are going to put on our show for us. Ward Carroll, are you going to be in that? All right, come on. The TV camera's waiting on you. Now, the track is closed, gentlemen. The track is closed. We're going to have some trick riders out here, so we must ask you to stay off the track. Will the trick riders come on out to the announcer's tower and get in your respective area that you're supposed to be in order to put on your performance? So all of you riders that are going to participate in that event, you should be out on to the area in the track that you're supposed to be in. What are these guys going to do? There we go, up and over the bicycle. He jumps it there. That was Kokoris from St. Louis, Missouri, 15-year-old rider. And here comes Jim Wallace. That's the pro rider, up and over, and that's Ward Carroll's bike that he entrusted those two guys with. All right, now they're back out in front of the announcer's tower. Jumps a bunny hop in the air, pulls both feet off. There goes a cross up there by the pro rider. There's another cross up on the hill there by the Jim Wallace. Jim Wallace is up and over the double jumps, and he clears both of them. Back tire hits on the far side of the jump. There's a cross up. Back course. All right, the course does another cross up, turns around. All right, there's Ward Carroll. He's hopping his bike backwards. Watch him hop it backwards there. That's pretty good balancing. All right, all three riders go back up to the top of the starting hill there. There comes one riding his bicycle. Go backwards. I believe that was Ward Carroll. The one just jumped over the hoop there was Kokoris. There's the pro rider. As he jumps over the double jumps again, clears them both with the back wheel. That's about probably, I don't know how many feet that is across that jump there. Pretty good ways. Take a lot of momentum to get up that speed to get across that high. Here comes Ward Carroll. He gets the speed up and over, and his back tire crossed, and there was Kokoris. His back tire almost crossed. All the way around the track they go. All right, there you have it. Let's have a big round of applause for these riders out here today for putting on a little bit of a specialty act for us. Matt Hooks, we drew your name and you didn't show up, so we're going to give up on you and draw another one. Meredith Lewis, give me another name out of the box. All right, here we have it. Age 8-year-old, Carrie Bryant. Carrie Bryant, are you still here? Hey, look at there. We've got the vice president of the Cottonmouth BMX Booster Club laying flat on the track out there, and all three of these expert and pro riders is going to do something crazy, and I don't know what it might be. Joe, are you serious about this? He's not, but oh no, golly, there goes Margot Carroll, and he's going to lay down too. It's going to be cross. That's Ward Carroll. Ward Carroll and Joe Slosher, and here comes Jim Wallace up and over, both of them. How about that? All right. Carrie Bryant, are you still here? Carrie Bryant, are you still here? Okay, ladies, draw me another name. Don't look now. Keep your eyes closed. Don't look. David Reinhardt, age 14-year-old novice. Are you still here?
Wait a minute.
I'll take the helmet. I'll take the helmet and the goggles.
Boo! $15?
How about